fight. The drive continues. ArenaBowl 19. Las Vegas awaits.
You apply as much physical pressure as you can to New Orleans.
Against the Voodoo, Orlando hits the jackpot.
The Orlando Predators in a must-win situation.
And their Vegas dreams got brighter as a wild card on the road in New York.
Orlando holds off New York to advance to the next round of the playoffs.
Can Georgia make the Predators play by house rules? Lucky number 10 will send the force to Sin City.
Southern Division champs, baby.
High stakes, heavy hitters. This game's for big boys only.
Come on, feel the thunder. There's a rumble in the house.
It's the AFL National Conference Championship on NBC from Georgia. The Georgia Force play host to the Orlando Predators. Orlando is led by Hall of Fame head coach Jay Gruden. He had final thoughts for his team.
You guys have been together for some time now. We know each other. We know them. Strap it up and give it your best shot, man. That's all you can do. No regrets tomorrow morning. Whatever happens with the outcome of the game, leave nothing on the field. No regrets tomorrow morning. So make sure you can live with yourself tomorrow and the next day and the next day that you did leave a great opportunity out on the table. Don't leave this opportunity out on the table. We got an opportunity to come to this building. They're 9-0 at home and go to Vegas. What else do you want as a football player in the Arena Football League? Nothing.
Meanwhile, the Georgia Force are led by AFL Coach of the Year, Doug Plank, the former Chicago Bear. Bob Papa, Ray Bentley, Dave Burns. This should be a defensive struggle.
It really is. You got the two of the top three scoring defenses from the season in the Arena Football going together today, Bobby. And you know what they say, defense wins championships.
Orlando has won the coin toss. They will kick off. Ken Hensley, signed last week, will kick it off to Chris Jackson. During the regular season, Jackson returned 3 for touchdowns. He only had 1 in his career leading up to this season. Hensley was painting his houseboat in Stuart, Florida when he got the call from the Predators. He said, sure. Jackson fielding it. And wrapped up by Doster and dropped at the 5-yard line. Let's take a look at the starting lineups as we head to the Georgia offense led by quarterback Matt Nagy. Second team All-Arena in his 3rd year out of Delaware. 66 touchdown passes on the season. Couple of all-rookie standouts in Derek Lee and Troy Bergeron and the great Chris Jackson.
Yeah, Chris Jackson's the guy they picked up in a trade from Grand Rapids mid-season, and he has really reignited this ball club.
Get a look at them up front. Adam Metz out of North Carolina, the center. Smith, the tight end, with Shane Grice playing at the guard. 13 sacks allowed this season by Georgia. Jackson in motion. Lee on the quick hitch. Gets wrapped up and dropped from behind at the 11-yard line by E.J. Burt. Take a look at the defense of the Orlando Predators. They only give up 44 points per game as a defense. E.J. Burt, 8.5 sacks this season. They get a lot of pressure up front, right?
And when E.J. gets to the quarterback, he knocks the ball loose. 5 forced fumbles so far this season.
Then you get a look at the secondary with Corey Fleming and Idris Price, the linebackers, and Johnny Harris, a key today.
Yeah, he's the guy they brought in middle of the year to cover receivers like Derek Lee, and they're working on each other up top up there.
Bergeron, the motion man. Lee with the catch, has his first down, tackled by Harris.
And midway through the season, Jay Gruden looked at his team. He had Damon Mason and Kenny McIntyre back there, not real big defenders, and he knew he would have to go against either Tampa Bay, who had Lawrence Samuels, a real big type physical receiver, and then Georgia with Derek Lee, a big physical type receiver. He said, I need a guy that can handle that, and he brought in Johnny Harris, and Harris so far has done the job.
Harris started the 2002 and 2003 seasons with the New York Giants, played with the Oakland Raiders as well. 1st and 10. Nagy looking for Jackson. Got a touchdown, Georgia. yards for Chris Jackson.
And Chris Jackson got the matchup on Reggie Doster on the backside, and all he did was just run the post. Here he is. He's going to come down the field, slow down, and then he hits the gas pedal right there, and that change of speed is what allowed him to run by Doster.
And that's what Jackson does better than anybody in the league, his ability to change speed and alter his route.
It's so difficult to cover, and you know, he lulls the guy to sleep, and then he hits the gas and goes right by you. Perfect example of it right there.
Nelson Garner on for the extra point to give Georgia a 7-0 lead. Low snap. And Garner knocks it through. So Chris Jackson from 33 yards out got a step on Reggie Doster. That was all she wrote. Touchdown, Georgia Force. They have a 7-0 lead in the National Conference Championship.
Why am I in the Army Reserve? It's not just for the experience or the training I can use as a soldier and as a civilian. It's for them, for my country, and it's all worth fighting for.
Visit GoArmyReserve.com.
Where's my fighter? Come on.
Kid, how many fingers I got up?
4.
What city are we in?
I don't know.
You remember what you did last night?
No.
Remember what I did last night?
No.
He's fine. It's all good. Let him in.
Chris Jackson's 33-yard touchdown catch has given Georgia a 7-0 lead over Orlando, the National Conference Championship on NBC. So glad you can join us. Bob Popple along with Ray Bentley. Jackson makes the big play, but quarterback Matt Nagy has 3 big-time weapons to choose from.
Yeah, they have 3 super receivers, 2 of them rookies. As we'll take a look at the profile on each of these guys. Start out with Bergeron. He's got straight-ahead speed. He can just run by you, set a rookie record for receiving yards. He's the guy that stretches defenses for the Georgia Force offense. And now Derek Lee, big and physical, the size and strength guy, makes all the plays in the red zone, uses that 6'5" frame. And then Chris Jackson, we saw him, the shiftiness, the savvy. He's a guy that just makes plays. He has really lifted this team since joining midway in the season.
Well, the Orlando Predators play a more tight to the vest type game, good running game. Joe Hamilton, the quarterback. They don't have the 3 big-time receivers, but they have a stud in Corey Fleming.
Corey Fleming is a big-time receiver all by himself, and he's just an amazing player. He's the guy they love to get the ball to. He's going to run a little more motion today to see how that matchup goes with Nate Coggins in the middle. But when Corey Fleming plays well, the Predators usually get a W.
Nelson Garner to kick off for the Georgia Force. Jarian James, explosive, a rookie out of Houston, back deep for Orlando. He took one back for a touchdown this season. Nice high kick by Garner. James with a chance. Jarian James gets a block from Cleveland and then gets wrapped up at the 21-yard line. A 27-yard return for Jarian James. The good field position for the Orlando Predators. And quarterback Joe Hamilton, who starred right here in Atlanta at Georgia Tech. Getting a final play from head coach Jay Gruden.
Hamilton missed 3.5 games this year with that separated shoulder, but since he has come back, he's been outstanding.
Non-throwing shoulder. Jarian James, the motion man. Price, the fullback. Hamilton for James, locked up by Coggins, incomplete. Let's send it down to Dave Burns. He's with Doug Plank.
Well, guys, you know, one characteristic that defined Doug Plank as a player was toughness. Coach, motivator is one of the defining characteristics of you as a coach. What did you tell your team before kickoff?
I just tell them we deserve to be here. Let's start playing like champions instead of playing like we're runners-up. So we're going to attack. We're going to play to win, not to lose.
Doug Plank, coach of the Georgia Force, guys.
Well, you can feel that heat right up here in the booth.
Yeah, Doug's ready to go. I think he's ready to pad it up himself.
Frizzell in motion for Orlando. He's a speed demon. Gets wrapped up at the 21-yard line. We take a look at the Orlando offense led by quarterback Joe Hamilton. 60 touchdown passes on the season. Idris Price, Jarian James, Corey Fleming missed the red zone. And Jimmy Frizzell was injured on April 22nd against Georgia. Fractured 2 ribs, but Ray, I talked with him before the game. He says it's getting better each and each week.
Yeah, and he's a guy that they need just to stretch the defense. And also, when we talked to Jay Gruden, he felt that Jimmy Frizzell was that last missing piece to the offensive puzzle, and he really hit it off with Joe Hamilton immediately.
Well, the offensive front as well. Cleveland the center. Big third down here for Orlando. Hamilton feels some pressure. He can run. There's a flag on the play. He's got the first down as he gets tripped up by Smith and Lee. Flag came out of the secondary in the vicinity of defensive holding or an illegal defense.
Yeah, I saw some holding. Whether or not they called that remains to be seen, but there was some holding by that Georgia 4 secondary.
During the regular season, Hamilton rushed for 98 yards. Perry Havner is our referee.
Holding on the defense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
So the call is against Georgia, although Hamilton had the first down. We take a look at the Georgia Force defense. They give up 46 points a game as a defense. And Jermaine Smith, first team All-Arena, 3.5 sacks. Gillis Wilson had 5.5 sacks this season.
Yeah, very good up front. Adam Metz, that nose guard, will get the push. And here's the rest of them. The key guys to me today are Nate Coggins and Kevin Gaines. They have to play well as defensive specialists.
Coggins a bit nicked up during the week. Hamilton, Frizzell, touchdown, Orlando.
Boy, Frizzell just shook Coggins. Coggins bought the corner fake. He went to cover the corner out. Frizzell gave that corner fake and then cut back underneath, and Coggins never stayed with him. Take a look at the route. Here's Frizzell coming in motion. He's got the speed to press things up vertically. But look at that little corner move there. And you saw Coggins bit hard on the corner. And Frizzell, it was easy just to work himself back in the middle after that nice fake.
Well, the son of a coach, Jimmy Frizzell, his dad, a coach at Ball State, Western Illinois, Youngstown State, a defensive coach. So he learned a lot about reading defenses as a receiver from his dad. His dad coached Ray Lewis when Lewis was in high school. Jimmy Frizzell would like a championship of his own, and he scores on the touchdown feed from Joe Hamilton. Knotted up at 7. National Conference Championship on NBC.
Product not yet rated. EA Sports. It's in the game.
The fresh makeup.
It's the Subway AFL on NBC Studio. Al Troutwig along with Glenn Parker back with you at halftime. We'll be talking to the head coach of the Chicago Rush, Mike Hohensee, who knows that in this league, even though we've had 2 possessions and 2 scores already, you have to be patient and you have to play defense. And here's the evidence that plays it out.
Absolutely. You've got to have their stops. And when you look at scoring defense right here, 3 of the top 4 teams in scoring defense are still alive in the conference championship round. You take a look, you've got to get those stops in an offensive league.
Could be a warning sign for Colorado playing tomorrow that they're not part of that Final Four. But what's your favorite matchup in the game we're watching today?
Well, right now, I like Matt Nagy. What you have to do, and we've already seen it. You saw Chris Jackson get long. If Orlando's going to stop them, they're going to have to play over the top, keep things in front of them, make Matt Nagy continue to complete passes, and make him continue that magic he's been on all year.
We'll break it down at halftime. Hope you can join us for the Subway AFL on NBC Studio. Right now, back to Bob and Ray.
Looking forward to it, Al. Jimmy Frizzell spent all of last year with the Chicago Bears on their practice squad. Spent some time with the Atlanta Falcons. Has the equalizing touchdown in the 7-7 game. Hensley on the kickoff. Bergeron back deep. Bergeron gets wrapped up by Jerry and James and then gets toppled at the 5-yard line. Now Jay Gruden, the head coach of the Orlando Predators, a member of the AFL Hall of Fame. What a career he's had. Began in 1991 as the quarterback for the Tampa Bay Storm. Ray, I could see you in those uniforms.
Yeah, nice uniforms, no doubt.
4 ArenaBowl championships as a player. In 1998, became the head coach of the Orlando Predators, and more success. 2 ArenaBowl titles in 3 appearances. Jay went back to the playing field. played a little bit more. Member of the AFL Hall of Fame and now back coaching the Predators.
Might be the top offensive mind in arena football.
Nagy with some time, incomplete. That's one of the keys, Ray, on that last play. Is what Orlando said they want to do is make Nagy have to wait a little bit.
Right, and they want to force him out of the pocket, make him move around a little bit. He's not a rhythm. He is a rhythm passer in his 3-step game, but the 5-step, he likes to move around the pocket to buy a little extra time and allow his guys to get open.
Nagy from Anaheim, Pennsylvania, played his college ball at the University of Delaware. Set 20 school records in the passing game. 2nd and 10 for the Force. Nagy under pressure, lets it go. Lee is open. He'll walk in for the touchdown. Johnny Harris slips. Easy touchdown, 45 yards.
That's the physical matchup that is going to be key in this ball game. Johnny Harris against Derek Lee, and give Lee the win on this one. Here he is right up here, and he's just going to run a go route. You're going to get a post from Bergeron. You see Harris jump up there early, and now his eyes are in the backfield, and he bit on the inside look by the quarterback. Matt Nagy looked him inside, and then he tripped when he tried to recover, and it won't get any easier than that for Derek Lee.
Nagy had some pressure, but with Harris falling down, easy touchdown for the rookie, Derek Lee.
And a mistake Harris made looking into the backfield a little too much. Bought the eye fake from Nagy.
Garner's extra point, no good. You cannot assume extra points in the AFL with the uprights only 9 feet apart. But Derek Lee, 45-yard touchdown pass. Easy throw for Nagy. And the Georgia Force with the lead. 13-7 here in the first quarter.
NASCAR returns to Daytona. The Pepsi 400 live in prime time, July 2nd on NBC.
I'm worried about leaving my family alone when I travel. What if something happened? That's why I got ADT.
I came home one night and found a burglar in my house. And we live in a nice neighborhood. That's why I got ADT.
And now you can get the peace of mind that comes from America's #1 security company. Call now and save $100 off the regular price when you buy ADT's family package. Why worry when you have the security of ADT? ADT, always there.
Well, now, where's the fire, boys? Oh, fresh toasted sandwiches. Well, get those babies home before they get cold.
Fresh toasted sandwiches from Subway restaurants.
I'm hungry. You hungry?
Sponsors of Greg Biffle and Car 16.
Do I miss my old job? Who's gonna see this? My life is very cool. As a poker champion, I've been basically all over the United States. I get autograph requests about every single day. I really learned how to play poker on PokerStars.net. That's where I really sharpened my skills. The best advice I can give for a poker player is to go on to PokerStars.net and practice. Practice makes perfect. Without that, I would not be a world champion today. I may have won the World Series of Poker, but I'm basically the same guy. Same guy, nicer car.
The AFL on NBC is brought to you by Loctite Power Grab. Project Solve by Subway. It's always been fresh. Now it can be toasted. Experience the new great taste of a fresh toasted sub today. Subway, eat fresh. And by ADT, America's residential and commercial security leader. Georgia, 13-7 lead over Orlando. Time for a sneak peek with Dave Burns.
You know, Bob, that looked a little bit too easy for Derek Lee. Derek, let's take another look at that. And was there anything we missed on that play?
Well, basically what I did was I took him down the field. I faked like I went in, hit him with one of those. Which way did he go? And he fell. Smooth sailing the rest of the way, baby.
And you said to me the first time you looked at it, it didn't look quite that easy, huh?
It didn't look that easy. I ain't know where he went.
But he went down, and Derek Lee caught it, scored the TD. Bob?
Derek Lee, coached by his dad, Benny, since the age of 8. From right outside of Atlanta, has 150 tickets out for this game. Mom Pam is there as well.
He said he hit him with a which way did he go move. That's a good one.
Know which way Johnny went. He went down.
He went straight down.
So Garner missed the extra point, missed a couple last week in the win against Tampa. Jarian James back deep for the Predators. Ball fell off the tee. Never touched the ball. As McIntyre picked it up.
Must be a strong wind in here today or something. It blew off the tee twice. Garner needs to set that thing in there a little bit more steady. Right here, just as he's about Charlie Brown at Lucy got him.
Do they open up one of the gates? Get a little wind current?
A little breeze.
Little breeze maybe to help the kicker. So Garner will tee it up again. Ready to put this game back in play. Good end over end kick and over the netting and the bars and into the stands for a touchback. So all that re-teeing helped Nelson Garner. Orlando must start at their own 5-yard line. Quarterback Joe Hamilton. 2 for 3 on the opening drive. The touchdown pass to Jimmy Frizzell.
You know, these two teams met twice in the regular season, Bob, in very close ball games. Georgia won at home 49-47 over Orlando. Orlando returned the favor at home, winning 52-49. Very close games they've played against each other.
Joe Hamilton, very excitable. Very fired up for this playoff showdown. Has Brown. Can't run out of the tackle and gets dumped by Gaines at the 9-yard line. Pickup of about 4.
One of the keys for the Georgia Force when they did beat Orlando, they made them use a long field the whole game. They covered kicks well, and they made Joe Hamilton try to work that ball the long way, and that's what they've got in this instance with Garner kicking it over the net. Joe Hamilton's looking at 45 yards to get to the end zone.
Frizzell in motion. Hamilton under some pressure. Jackson missed the tackle. Hamilton pounds his way up to the 12-yard line. 3 yards short of a first down.
And I'll tell you the reason Hamilton wasn't able to throw the football, everybody was covered. In particular, Jimmy Frizzell, the motion man, coming down. Nate Coggins just locked him up. Frizzell never got 5 yards down the field. Watch this right here. This defense by Coggins right here just puts the clamps on Frizzell and then gets the hands off so he doesn't get the holding call. But that's a mauling right there.
Another big third down coming up from Orlando. They converted one earlier on a penalty. Brown in motion. He's the running threat. Gets a key block. Has the first down to the 18-yard line. Kevin Nagel, the fullback, made the key block to spring Brown.
Orlando, one of the top rushing teams in arena football. They get the tough yards, and that's a trademark of a Jay Gruden team. And here's Nagel, 32, the fullback, leading around the corner. And the blocking was so good on the edge. Nagel, there was nobody for Nagel to hit. Brown just had to get into his pocket and slide in there for the first down. And as I said, Bob, you see the rushing numbers there. 33 touchdowns, tied for third, 180 attempts, and 528 rushing yards, second in the Arena Football League this season.
Frizzell in motion. Motion up front. Hamilton with a free play. Can't find Frizzell. Looked like Keys of Georgia jumped offside before the snap in the neutral zone.
Marcus Keys, the nose guard, got the early start.
Offsides. Defense, number 75. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And it is on Keys. Today's AFL Clash is being watched by our U.S. Armed Forces personnel stationed overseas throughout the courtesy of the AFN, the American Forces Network. We hope you're enjoying the telecast wherever you may be stationed. And our sincere thanks to all the men and women defending democracy around the world. 1st and 5 for Orlando.
I haven't seen Corey Fleming get into this too much. He's up top right here.
Brown in motion. You're going to run it with Nagel. Picks up 4, just short of the first down. Coggins stuck his nose in there. Kevin Nagel picked up on April the 22nd for Orlando.
Right, picked up in a trade because they sent Rupert Grant to Nashville, and Nagel has stepped in and done a great job. And when he came over in the trade, he brought his guns with him. He's got some of the biggest arms in arena football. Reminds me of Dan Curran, who was the top rusher in the Arena Football League last year, and he is a load when he gets it going.
His arms are bigger than most people's legs. 2nd and 1. Hamilton keeps it. Gets knocked down by Coggins, but a first down for Orlando. Gain of 9 for Joe Hamilton. And Ray, I remember in week 1, Colorado at Orlando, one of the things you said you wanted to see more from Joe Hamilton was his running ability.
And they take advantage of it here, running the dive option, where they actually ride the ball to the fullback, Nagel, and Hamilton's reading that defensive end. Because he crashed down, he pulls the football and then takes it on the outside. Corey Fleming threw a nice block, and he picks up a good gain. They also have the dive option, which will bring a pitch man into play as well.
1st and 10 for Orlando. Frizzell in motion. Predators down by 6. Brown on the quick hitch. Reaches forward inside the 10 to about the 7-yard line. Coggins on the tackle for Georgia. This is a typical Orlando offensive possession. Short passes, ball control, methodical.
Running the football, controlling the tempo, and moving it down the field. Now the key to that, though, is can you get it done in the red zone? And Georgia has gotten it done in the red zone all season long, or excuse me, Orlando has gotten it done in the red zone. They are number 1 in red zone offense. So it's one thing to move the ball down the field. It's another thing to be able to hammer it in there when you get down there.
Well, because they have big number 12, Corey Fleming, last year's Iron Man of the Year. Dangerous in the red zone. Hamilton looks the other way to Brown. He's got him. Gary on the tackle. And then Brown throws the flag, throws the ball back at Gary, and he's going to get flagged.
Yeah, that's a mental mistake for Brown. Yeah, Gary roughed him up a little bit, but this is football, and you can't just throw the ball at a guy. That's the guy that's going to get caught every time. And I didn't see flags coming out after Gary kind of threw Brown to the ground. So to me, the penalty would have to be on Brown.
You could see Brown's frustration because he was tackled and ruled out of bounds, and we heard a whistle. Then he got thrown down.
Yeah, you could see Jay Gruden's frustration, too.
On the play. We have a personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the defense, and unsportsmanlike on number 11 on the offense. Those penalties offset. It will be 4th down.
And I think Brown got lucky on that one because initially the flag was not coming out. You take another peek at this. Hamilton zips it out there, and now the play's over, but then there you have the throw down. But nobody's reaching for a flag until Brown throws the ball back at Gary. And once he does that, then they just called it offsetting.
So Brown gets bailed out. 1st and goal. This is Corey Fleming time, Ray Bentley.
This is his area on the field. He's right up here. They love to throw the fade. The fade stop to him back on that backside.
Nagel. Touchdown, Orlando. And Fleming got away with a false start, Ray. He nudged out of his stance. But no flag, and Orlando gets the touchdown.
You know, the other thing that Corey Fleming, because he's such a threat down there, you know, you're able to do other things. The defensive backs cannot get involved in the run game because Corey Fleming's such a threat. Now let's watch his false start here that you saw, Bob. Right there, the little jiggle definitely got away with that movement there. Still made a nice block, and Nagel gets it in. No call on that one. They get the touchdown.
And Brown helped with the block as well. Hensley for the extra point. Sanders gets it down, and he strikes it right down the middle. So Orlando, by virtue of Georgia missing an extra point, now has a 1-point lead with 1:34 to go here in the first. Kevin Nagel during the regular season had 4 rushing touchdowns, and he pounds one in from 3 yards out. The quest for ArenaBowl 19. Orlando in front by 1.
Earthlink welcomes you to the high-speed play of the week. A rookie sensation in Georgia.
Bergeron is fast. Bergeron's got one man to beat. Bergeron's going to take it back for the touchdown.
This 10-point swing helped turn this playoff game around quickly as Troy Bergeron takes a missed field goal all the way back for a Georgia score.
Bang, bang fashion to end the first half. What a play.
The AFL and Earthlink, we revolve around you.
Hey, I'm Jimmy.
I'm Terry.
I'm John.
And I'm one of Earthlink's 2,000 employees.
I'm your internet service provider.
Your ISP. I am not a giant server in an air-conditioned room. I'm a living, breathing, hardworking internet person.
Just like you.
I'm watching out for you on the internet 24/7.
We've created spam blocker,
virus blocker,
spyware blocker,
scam blocker. If there's a problem, we create a blocker for it.
We love our jobs. We love what we do, and we enjoy it.
We're here to protect and serve you.
More speed, more security. That's Earthlink. Earthlink, we revolve around you.
You know what they say, Prince. Big boots, big odor.
Only Odor Eaters has Zorbatex technology to absorb sweat and destroy odor on contact. Odor Eaters foot and sneaker spray.
Stops odor. Dries crystal clear.
Loctite Power Grab. Grabs instantly. With 9 times higher initial hold than the leading brand. Without bracing. Loctite Power Grab. Project solved.
Joe Hamilton, the quarterback for Orlando in his second year out of Georgia Tech. His Predators lead Georgia 14-13. Well, Joe Hamilton is a collegiate quarterback at Georgia Tech, a 4-year starter, and he finished his highly decorated career with 10,640 yards of total offense. His teammates like to call him Mighty Joe. 83 total touchdowns, 65 passing, a 148.2 passer rating. In 1999, he finished second to Ron Dane in the Heisman Trophy balloting, was the ACC Player of the Year. He was the Davey O'Brien Award winner, the nation's top senior quarterback. Joe Hamilton.
He makes his home here in Atlanta in the offseason, kind of a homecoming for him.
Was a backup on the Tampa Bay Bucks when they won the Super Bowl a couple years. Was Peyton Manning's backup last year in the season opener at New England. And basically playing his 3rd consecutive playoff game with the play-in game in the last game of the regular season. Chris Jackson on the return for Georgia. Idris Price tackled him at the 16-yard line. Dave Burns is with the Orlando quarterback.
On the bench, Bob, on the sideline. And Joe, a touchdown pass thrown to Jimmy Frizzell, a rushing touchdown. Do you like the mix so far you're throwing at him?
Oh, I think y'all just on this dictating the tempo. If we keep on that attention and we dictate to them, I think we can be successful all day.
You took a big hit out there. Are you okay?
I'm fine, man. I'm sitting here, man. You relish this moment and the opportunity to play in this game, man. I'm excited about it.
Joe told me yesterday when I talked to him, set me up for the big plays. I want them.
1st and 10. Thomas loses a couple. Apologize for a little audio blip in there with the Hamilton interview, but Joe said that, you know, in these Arena Football League games, there's about 20 to 25 big plays that have to be made during the course of a game. And he said, I'm greedy. We got to make more than they will because they're going to make some big plays, but we have to make a majority of them if we want to win.
You know, and he sat out for those 3.5 games, and we asked him what he learned from that, and he said, you know, I learned that I have a lot to do with the outcome. I have to make the right decisions. And then the other thing he said, a lot of big plays have to be made to win in this league.
Jackson in motion. Naden fumbles it, recovered by Idris Price of Orlando. First big play of the ball game. Georgia turns it over, and Idris Price was there to pounce on it.
Oh, and Adam Metz, the #1 center, was in there snapping the ball, and you don't expect to have that kind of problem. Take a look at it, and it looked to me like Nagy got out of there a little bit early. That ball never got into his hands. It went straight down, and Idris Price, Johnny on the spot, sees the football down there around the ankles and comes up with the play.
During the course of the regular season, Orlando forced 30 turnovers in the 17 regular season games, and Price was right there and fell right on it.
And definitely Matt Nagy was pulling out a little too early on that one. I think that one goes on the quarterback, not the center.
Yeah, Adam Metz out of North Carolina comes from a family of centers and offensive linemen. His dad, Carey, was an offensive lineman at North Carolina State. Little miscue there for Georgia. Now Orlando has a chance to build upon a 1-point lead through 1 quarter of play. With an ArenaBowl berth at stake, conference championships, Orlando by 1.
NBC Monday, the hottest night on television, takes off with a high-speed couples Fear Factor. Then, welcome to the family. See how it all all got started. The very first episode of Las Vegas.
God, I love this town.
And that's not all. Go back to the beginning for the very first medium.
Tell me one more time where you think this body is.
You're standing on it.
Fear Factor, Las Vegas, and Medium. The hottest night on television. NBC Monday.
My Toyota Prius is famously earth-friendly, but it gets such great mileage that it's actually fiscally conservative.
My Toyota Highlander Hybrid is not only amazingly fast, it's also environmentally sensitive.
Now Toyota makes hybrids for both sides of the garage. The Prius and Highlander hybrids. That's moving us all forward.
Jeeves, what delicacy is this? Do I detect a hint of garlic? Yes, I do. Bold, but not overstated. What's that, Jeeves? Oh, don't sneak up on me like that. But yes, I'd love a drink.
Elevate your taste with the new White Castle Roasted Garlic Chicken Sandwich. Tender chicken draped with savory garlic cheese. It's the next big crave.
That'll be all, Jeeves. Really. Run along.
White Castle. What you crave.
We've given it the longest wheelbase in its class. Unsurpassed rear headroom and a multimedia entertainment system. All of which begs the question, can you resist? Introducing the all-new long wheelbase Jaguar XJ. Visit your local Jaguar retailer today.
New York Giant All-Pro Tiki Barber live Sunday on My Talk.
Obviously, Joe Hamilton of Orlando, very comfortable here in Atlanta. Played his college ball at Georgia Tech. Hails from Alvin, South Carolina. Dad Joseph and Mom Ginger are used to making that drive from Alvin to Atlanta to watch Joe play football. 5-hour drive. Says my parents, the car could probably drive itself.
Yeah. He only missed 2 of his games, including both home and away, during his college career at Georgia Tech. That's pretty large commitment from Mom and Dad.
Brett Cooper in motion for Orlando as we start the second. Hamilton, Brazil, slipped, got back up, was not touched down, lost the football, and then fell back on it. Dicey moment for Jimmy Brazil. You know, Ray, so far in this ball game, Corey Fleming has not had one ball thrown his way. Doug Plank told us yesterday, Jay Gruden is the best coach in the league at in-game offensive adjustments.
Right, and game planning. You just can't get a bead on him. He self-scouts very well, so he doesn't really present a lot of tendencies. And Doug Plank said it's something we're going to have to track during the game and make adjustments.
Brazil in motion on the second down. Hamilton. Oh, intercepted by Gaines.
Boy, Joe Hamilton forced that one in there. I think he was starting to feel the pressure of not going to Fleming either, and he tried to force it in there, and he's very fortunate that Gaines didn't pick it off.
You know, in this red zone area, Hamilton and Fleming play a little game. They run their own audibles with hand signals, and maybe they got a little mixed up as to what route Fleming was running.
I don't think they got mixed up. I just think that Joe Hamilton couldn't see very well with the big hands up and the pass rushers in the passing lanes, and he took a chance, and he got lucky that he didn't get burned.
Fleming in motion. Checks off to Cooper against the wall. No signal. Is he in?
Brazil thought so.
No, they're going to say he's down inside the 1. You know, talking with Kevin Gaines at Georgia yesterday, we were asking him about Brazil, and we asked him about Fleming, and he said, don't forget the veteran, Brett Cooper. He can make some plays, too.
Brett Cooper, 12-year veteran out of Central Florida. And he's a guy that just knows this game so well. Plus, he's a big, strong receiver. 6 feet, 205 pounds. He can play receiver. He can play jack linebacker. He can play cornerback. He can do it all.
First and goal inside the 1. Hamilton keeps it. Did not get in. His back was on the ground. He did not get in.
Georgia Force defensive line and defensive front 5 does a nice job of stopping the run. They're very good and very stingy down in this area. You have to earn your touchdowns against them.
And they have the linebacker, number 44, Robert Thomas. Started his NFL career as a linebacker, was moved to fullback. He was the key blocker in Emmitt Smith's run that gave him the all-time rushing lead. Nagel, the fullback. Hamilton again, twisting in. No signal yet, and they say his knee hit before the goal line.
Boy, I'm not so sure on that one. He did kind of a seat roll, a sit-out move, if you follow wrestling, into the goal or into the end zone. But I think the backside may have touched the ground before the ball crossed the plane. At least that's the ruling by the official.
So 3rd and goal.
Here's Joe Hamilton. He's going to sneak in here. You see the little sit-out move. And right there, that's so close to tell right there. And the official has the look right down the line. So we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
3rd and goal. Grizzell in motion. And Hamilton took a shot, a flag on the play. There was a false start.
I don't know if it's false start or offsides. There was a lot of jumbling going on in the middle there. And then I think it was Robert Thomas that delivered the blow to Joe Hamilton. Send a little message down there.
It's pretty loud here in the Phillips Arena. I didn't hear a whistle. Chant of defense.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So a 1st and goal from inside the 1 has turned into a 3rd and goal from the 5. And something you do not hear often at an AFL game, the chant of defense.
Yeah, imagine that. But these fans are savvy and they know. It's hard to see. You see, there's the shot right there that Joe Hamilton took at the end of that thing. But now they've got a little more room to work with. Corey Fleming's the guy to go to.
Cooper in motion. Hamilton. Caught by Cooper, touchdown. Was he going to Cooper or was he going to Fleming?
I think he wanted Cooper the whole way. Stayed right on him. Cooper was working it, mixing it up with Coggins in there. And Cooper with the big body is able to get enough separation and then bobble it, but pull it in and get the touchdown. See, there's the throw right there. And you see Coggins with the hand over the top. I think he got a hand on the ball a little bit. Let's take another look with Cooper in the motion here. Runs past him and then comes back. And Coggins very close to breaking that thing up, but Cooper stayed with it.
Hensley for the extra point. Sanders gets it down and he sneaks it inside the right upright. So Brett Cooper in his 12th year out of Central Florida with a huge touchdown catch, and Orlando converts the Georgia fumble to a touchdown. They lead at 21-13 in the 2nd.
Two teams of Clydesdales, 3,000 miles apart. One is coming from the west, the other from the east. This summer, Budweiser is traveling across this great nation, stopping to salute our country's everyday heroes, the men and women who make us proud to call America our home. When our Clydesdales eventually meet in the heartland to celebrate our freedom, we will once again remember those who serve all of us. At Budweiser, we take pride in our products and our country. American-owned, born here, brewed here. Budweiser.
And where are you taking my daughter?
To dinner.
I want to know how.
Well,
What time will you be home? What's your GPA? Where's your resume?
well,
You certified in CPR?
Why's that grilling him?
What's the state bird of Kentucky?
Everyone's getting grilled with IHOP's new sourdough cheese grillers. Turkey and provolone, roast beef and cheddar, and ham and brie, all on grilled sourdough cheese bread served with your favorites for a limited time. IHOP. Come hungry, leave happy.
The top American miler, Alan Webb, takes on the world's best in the 2-mile showdown, the Nike Prefontaine Classic, Sunday, 2 Eastern, NBC. Everyone's talking about Hit Me Baby One More Time. Do the bands we love still have what it takes? Hit Me Baby One More Time, NBC Thursday.
Joe Hamilton, a pair of touchdown passes. Orlando leading Georgia here in the 2nd, 21-13. And Mom and Dad, Joseph and Ginger, peering in and willing that pass to Brett Cooper in for the score. And Dad pretty fired up. And the Hamiltons are with Dave Burns.
And you know, with Joseph now, that was kind of a hard drive to watch, wasn't it? It ended well, but it was hard to watch.
Yeah, you know, what we look for, this game is so fast, seems like everything's supposed to be quick. Then when we get the ball, seems like it's hard, it's rough. But, you know, as long as we get room to throw the football, we could always come through.
As long as we score in the end, then that's great. With Joseph Hamilton's father, Joe Hamilton. Show us the ring here, that up there. You wear that, and your son told me this morning he better have it on. That's important, isn't it?
It's very important. You know, it's something that we all shoot for all the time, and this is one thing that he wanted it. But, you know, this ArenaBowl would be a lot bigger than the Super Bowl ring to him because he's participating in this, and this is what he always wanted. And the challenge for this is probably the ultimate goal for him.
And, of course, that's the type of Super Bowl ring. Hey, Ginger, let me ask you this. Would you rather see him rush the ball in arena football or stand unprotected in the pocket? Which is worse?
Honestly, you know I have to say I'd rather him pass the ball, definitely not the run. I can't handle him trying to run the ball.
That was a tough series for Mike. They're down here in the end zone that Georgia is going away from, having a big time watching their son, Joe. Bob?
All right, Dave. Nagy under some pressure. Likes to roam a little bit. Has Lee. Harris gave him a lot of cushion, and Lee has a first down.
Matt Nagy loves to roll out to his right. He does that a lot. And the Orlando pass rush was hoping to be able to catch up to him coming around the corner. E.J. Burt did so in one of the previous meetings and forced a fumble and caused a safety on that deal. And he's going to be tracking around, running at Nagy all day, and he expects him to roll to his right away from E.J. Burt.
E.J. Burt, a master at forcing fumbles when he gets a hit on the quarterback.
Said he learned that from watching tape of Lawrence Taylor, who was the guy who kind of started that.
1st and 10. Nagy. Jackson wide open. Jackson to the goal line. Touchdown. Just beat McIntyre. 28 yards. Second touchdown catch of the game for Chris Jackson.
Well, Chris Jackson just gets so much separation. He loses people in his routes. He is the hardest guy to cover. I think he runs the best routes in arena football. You see Matt Nagy kind of wheeling to his right a little bit, as is his tendency, but Chris Jackson, plenty of separation from Kenny McIntyre. And here's the move that he put on McIntyre. You see McIntyre had to do the flip turn. He turned him all the way around with that fake. And then when Jackson does that, he kind of cuts the route off a little bit to increase the separation.
Garner's missed one extra point. Knocks this one through. So Georgia within one. Chris Jackson, second touchdown catch of the ballgame. This one, 28 yards. The first one was 33. Nagy able to find him. Jackson beats McIntyre. The force within one.
Rafael Nadal goes for the French Open title Sunday, 9 a.m. Eastern, NBC.
What? That was offside. Face mask. First down. Way to go, baby. Oh. Go for two. Blitz. Get out. Time out. Come out. Time out. He's all over him. Interference. Right in his hand. Oh.
So glad I'm not playing anymore.
Touchdown. Yeah.
Every armchair quarterback needs a high-definition widescreen projection TV monitor. Aaron's has a great selection at the guaranteed lowest price.
Game over? Game over?
What?
48 people.
You better think again, baby. Yeah, that's how we roll.
Yeah, how you like that? Product not yet rated. EA Sports. It's in the game. The Fresh Maker.
The AFL on NBC is brought to you by Mentos, the Fresh Maker, and by EA Sports. Arena football coming February 2006. By Aaron's. Let Aaron's drive your dreams home today. And by Odor Eaters. Absorbs sweat and destroys odor on contact with new Zorbatec technology. This is the National Conference Championship in Atlanta, Georgia. Joe Hamilton and the Orlando Predators in front 21-20. The winner advances to ArenaBowl 19 next Sunday in Las Vegas. The winner of this game meets the winner of tomorrow's game between Colorado and Chicago. James on the return for the Predators. Jerry and James gobbled up by Chris Jackson, and a flag on the play. Might get a face mask against the Force. 25-yard return. So tomorrow, right here on NBC at 3 p.m. Eastern, the American Conference Championship, Chicago and Colorado.
Personal
during
foul,
the regular season, Chicago
number 92
swept the season
kicking
series.
10-yard penalty, first down.
And the coaches, the best of friends, Mike Hohensee and Mike Daly. And a face mask penalty against Georgia on that return.
That gives Orlando good field position in this particular drive, and they have controlled the ball thus far. Bob, you look at the summary here, the 25 yards rushing and the rushing TD. They controlled it in the last two drives on the ground.
That summary brought to you by ADT, our game summary. Hamilton has Fleming, and it's his first catch. Picks up 5 on the play. Gaines on the tackle. Gaines and Fleming know each other very well. Played together. Started together at the Senior Bowl in college a decade ago. Good friends off the field.
Played together back in Carolina in 2002. Know each other very well. And another little note on this, Kevin Gaines will follow Corey Fleming around today. He will cover him in motion. Usually Coggins is the guy that takes all the motion, but when Fleming goes in motion, Gaines has him. Same as the deal on this play right here.
Fleming's in motion, second and short. Hamilton again using his legs, makes a man miss. Has the first down, dragged down from behind by Bobby Setzer. Joe Hamilton really using his legs, not just to buy time, Ray, but he's picking up positive yardage.
And I asked Jay Gruden, you know, is he 100%? Is he healthy enough that you'll call everything in the playbook? And he says, you bet we will. You know, even though the shoulder might not be quite to 100%, this is the time of the year where you can't worry about that kind of thing. You've got to use every weapon at your disposal. And Joe Hamilton's feet, that's a pretty good weapon.
Frizzell in motion. First and goal for Orlando. Hamilton again buying time back in the end zone. Intercepted. Ricky Parker gets the turnover back for Georgia.
All right, Hamilton just tried to force that one in there. Relied on his arm strength. And Ricky Parker, the coverage was just too tight, and he makes a big play on the ball.
Ricky Parker, who played for Doug Plank when Plank was the defensive coordinator in Arizona, came to Georgia with Plank, gets the big pick.
And the key there for Parker was the timing on getting his head turned around. He knew the route. He knew James was coming across to the backside. He played it perfectly, and then at the end of the play, got the head turned around and then took it away from Jerry and James.
So in a goal-to-goal situation, Joey Hamilton with the miscue. Now Georgia has a chance to regain the lead.
We're a pretty tight group here. That doesn't happen overnight. People have to learn that they can count on you. You know what I mean?
All repel!
Yes, sir, I do.
Get strength for now, strength for later. Learn more at GoArmy.com.
You know what they say, Prince. Big boots, big odor.
Only Odor Eaters has Zorbatex technology to absorb sweat and destroy odor on contact. Odor Eaters Foot and Spray.
Stops odor. Dry clear.
I woke up in the middle of the night, terrified. Someone tried to come in my house. Fortunately, we had an ADT security system.
Mrs. Parker, this is ADT. We're receiving an alarm. Are you all right?
Yes, we're okay. I'm glad ADT was there, watching out for my family.
Don't take chances. Take control of your family's safety with ADT, America's #1 security company. Call now and save $100 off when you buy ADT's family package. ADT, always there.
There appears to be something out there.
Thousands of people have just suddenly appeared.
Nobody trusts these people.
I didn't ask for this.
Just leave us alone.
Who are you? I don't remember! We are not
The enemy.
Log on to the4400.com and check your local listings for the premiere on USA Network.
Georgia's Ricky Parker with the interception, and the turnovers are even. Steve Tunn, the offensive coordinator of the Georgia Force, joins us right now. And, Coach, so far in this ballgame, your team, other than the one fumble, has been able to move the ball effectively against their secondary. Are you surprised how easy it's been?
Well, I don't know how easy it's been, but they're squatting on some of the routes right now, so we're trying to go by them.
All right, we'll let Coach call the play here, and then we'll visit with him throughout this drive. And, you know, that's something that Orlando does. They're notorious doing in terms of squatting on routes. And if you can take advantage of that, that can make huge plays manifest in your offense.
1st and 10 for Georgia. Jackson in motion. Bergeron shakes the tackle, and then James corrals him at the 10-yard line after a gain of 5.
Getting Troy Bergeron mixed into this game a little bit. He's the guy that's usually the deep threat, but he is also a guy that can run after the catch and make plays. I'm going to visit with Coach Tunn again. Steve, what are you looking at this time?
We're going tight on the field side, and we got Chris just running the hitch on the backside.
All right, you see Chris Jackson will be all alone there on the backside, right back here. And he's just going to run a little 6-yard hitch route or convert to a deep route.
And draw a flag. Brown rub him into the wall.
And that's something that's built into a lot of these offenses where the hitch is called, but if the receiver sees that defensive back squat, he has the option to go ahead and run right by him, which is exactly what Chris Jackson did.
Pass interference. Number 11 on the defense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Michael Brown called for the penalty.
Take another look at the end of this play, and you see Brown did get caught on the squat, so he had to stick that arm bar out there and stop Chris Jackson from scoring another touchdown.
Better to give up the 5 than the touchdown. 5 yards for the penalty. 1st and 10, Georgia. Bergeron in motion. Little screen to Wilson. They got tripped up at the 18-yard line. Wilson had 4 catches during the regular season.
Nice little mix in there. Coach Tunn throwing the screen in. You see Gillis Wilson on the lead screen. Nagy rolls to the right a little bit to pull people that way. The pass rush, Orlando just loves to lay their ears back and come after you. We have Coach Tunn with us again. Steve, what are you looking for on this play?
We got Troy coming around in motion. He's got a corner route, and then Chris is going to follow him up with a post route right behind him.
Bergeron in motion. Nagy got hit and throws it away. It was Price on the hit.
Boy, and if Price had not gotten that pressure, Chris Jackson was open on that post route coming underneath. See Nagy, just as he's going to let this thing go, he gets hit, and that messes up the throw because he had Chris Jackson open there in the middle.
So 2nd and 10 for Georgia. Coach Tunn giving Nagy the next play.
Steve, what are the things you like to do to try and slow down the pass rush from Orlando?
Well, we're trying to get the quick screen and then the other screen we did to Gillis. We're going to go corner here with Chris with the other 2 guys doing a post.
Got trips over here, 3 receivers. Jackson going to the corner.
Jackson in motion, and Nagy gets sacked. Reggie Lee. During the regular season, 19 sacks recorded by Orlando, and a couple here in the postseason.
That was good for 3rd in the Arena Football League, and you see Matt Nagy just had no chance on that one as he hit his 5th step. He hit it with it, and it was a blown. It looked to me like the fullback Aldridge didn't go opposite the way the line slid, and they blew that protection. Steve, was that a blown protection on that last one?
Yeah, I think we blew it. I think the fullback went the wrong way. I was looking downfield.
Now Nagy needs a timeout with the play clock dripping down rather than take the penalty with 3:16 to go here in the 2nd quarter. Orlando and Georgia with the Predators in front 21-20. Each team has turned it over once. The winner advances to Arena Bowl 19 in Las Vegas next Sunday, June the 12th. It's the AFL playoffs on NBC.
Dad, what's up with that mascot? He's not moving.
He's not moving.
Once you try a tasty, fresh toasted Italian BMT sub from Subway restaurants, you'll forget everything else.
I think he's dead.
No, he's not dead.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Cindy. Hi. Hi, I'm Jan. I'm Marsha. I'm Rachel. Hi, I'm Monica. I'm Phoebe.
Hi, Phoebe.
I'm Carrie. I'm Charlotte. Miranda. I'm Samantha. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Zena.
Zena?
Yes, Zena. I'm Lucy. This is my friend Ethel. Hi, my name's Louise. Call me Weezy. Hi, I'm Ginger.
Ginger. I'm Cliff, and this is my buddy Norm. Hey.
Hey, I'm Jimmy.
I'm Terry.
I'm John.
I'm one of Earthlink's 2,000 employees.
I'm your internet service provider.
Your ISP. I am not a giant server in an air-conditioned room. I'm a living, breathing, hardworking internet person.
Just like you.
I'm watching out for you on the internet 24/7.
We've created spam blocker,
Virus blocker,
spyware blocker,
scam blocker. If there's a problem, we create a blocker for it.
We love our jobs. We love what we do, and we enjoy it.
We're here to protect and serve you.
More speed, more security. That's Earthlink. Earthlink. We revolve around you.
He celebrated his birthday with an upset of Roger Federer. Now teen sensation Rafael Nadal goes for his first Grand Slam title. The French Open, Sunday, 9 a.m. Eastern, NBC.
This June, Average Joe returns. This time they're fighting back with a secret weapon, complete makeovers.
It's hot.
Average Joe, the Joe Strike Back, Tuesday, June 21st.
3:16 to go in the second. Orlando by 1 over Georgia. Jay Gruden trying to get his defense set.
You gotta watch out for wide here. Backside, you know what I mean? The deep cross, they like that. Like the guy into the boundary running the deep end. You know what I mean? If we're in sky splatter, they go 2 into the boundary. I still want to splatter the motion guy.
We're going to go one backside.
Huh?
We're going to go regular backside.
I want to play regular sky.
Regular sky for the backside.
All right, Ray Bentley, regular sky, splash, boundary, explain
Well,
it.
they're going to splash the motion man, and then they're going to play a sky, which is the safety coming down, playing underneath. The two corners will play deep behind it.
3rd and 16 for Georgia. Nagy. Bergeron can't run under it. So now decision time for Georgia with 4th and 16. Do you kick a field goal or you go for it?
Well, 4th and 16, that's a tough one. I lean towards kicking a field goal because your percentages of making a first down in this instance are not that high.
Well, Steve Tunn's giving Nagy a play, so they're going for it.
You know, I made a point earlier about Jay Gruden maybe having the best offensive mind in arena football. I think he might have the best defensive mind in arena football as well.
Doug Blank electing to go for it. Nagy a little late getting the play in. Play clock down to 2. Big 4th down. Nagy under pressure, and he lost it off the side of his hand, and that's a souvenir for a fan. And that's another stop for Orlando. They forced a fumble, and now they stop Georgia on downs. There is a flag on the play.
That's another thing you hope for on a 4th and 16, if you can maybe get a defensive
Number 92
penalty.
on the offense. Penalty is declined.
Holding.
Ball will go over on downs. First down.
So Doug Plank elects to go for it on 4th and 16 rather than try the field goal. And Orlando's pressure, Ray Bentley, on that drive was the key.
Well, the pressure was there because the coverage was there so good. I mean, you look at Nagy, he had plenty of time. He has almost forever to throw this ball, but finally that time runs out, as it will, and the Georgia Force offense comes up empty on that drive.
IHOP presents the AFL Hungry Team of the Week.
Mike check 1, 2.
Orlando, all systems go.
Play on time and serious, baby.
The Predators played hard, played to win, and now they're playing for a trip to the Arena Bowl.
Orlando holds off New York to beat the Dragons for the 8th straight time.
The AFL and IHOP. Come hungry, leave happy.
And where are you taking my daughter?
To dinner.
I want to know how.
Well, what time will you be home?
What's your GPA? Where's your resume? You certified in CPR?
Why's that grilling him?
What's the state bird of Kentucky?
Everyone's getting grilled with IHOP's new sourdough cheese grillers. Turkey and provolone, roast beef and cheddar, and ham and brie, all on grilled sourdough cheese bread served with your favorites for a limited time. IHOP. Come hungry, leave happy.
Loctite Power Grab. Grabs instantly. With 9 times higher initial hold than the leading brand. Without bracing. Loctite Power Grab. Project solved.
Prime time racing at Daytona, where the speed is mesmerizing, the drama is at its peak, and all the stars are out. Last year's winner, the Super Speedway Specialist, the hottest driver on the circuit, the defending champion. The chase for the Nextel Cup returns with the Pepsi 400, July 2nd on NBC.
Orlando head coach Jay Gruden, not only known for his offense, but his defense. Now, Ray, before the last play, we heard him say, we're going to run splash and sky. Well, we got a good example of splash.
Yeah, this is a great splash technique by Michael Brown. Here's Troy Bergeron. He's the motion guy. Splash means you take a shot at him to disrupt all the rhythm, and that was a heck of a shot that Michael Brown took. And you see him look outside, and he saw, okay, they're locked up. I'll stay with Bergeron. And then there's nowhere for Nagy to go with the football, so he has to throw it up into the stands. And he actually did throw it to a guy with Bergeron on his jersey, but it wasn't Troy Bergeron. See, there's the Bergeron jersey, but it wasn't the right Bergeron.
I think that was Gus Bergeron. So Orlando gets a huge stop, 1st and 10. Nagel on the run, picks up a couple. This is the second consecutive possession now that Orlando has a chance to go up by 8. Remember, they had the ball, and Hamilton was intercepted. Of course, they got the stop against Georgia, but they've got to capitalize on this opportunity.
Yeah, this is an important one for Orlando. They do get the ball coming out in the second half as we get down here near the end of the second quarter, so it would be huge for them to have that lead going into halftime, knowing they've got the first possession.
Fleming in motion on the second down. Hamilton. Fleming, there's his strength, there's his power. Coggins hanging on for dear life, and finally he drags him down at the 6.
You know, I don't know if you throw that ball to any receiver other than Corey Fleming when he's covered like that, because that was good coverage. Coggins was all over him right there. We're going to watch the ISO here on Corey Fleming being physical with Coggins. They're working on each other. But Coggins is in great position, but Fleming is so strong and so big and uses his body so well that Joe Hamilton will throw it to him even if he is covered.
Coggins was hanging on by a leg. Well, we're indoors in the Atlanta Hawks play here. Give me a basketball reference. He looked like Jeff Van Gundy holding on to Alonzo Mourning's leg in that NBA scuffle between Miami and New York years ago. Fleming, 2 catches, 24 yards. Hamilton has used the running game effectively.
If you recall, Bob, last time Orlando was down in this area of the field, that's where Georgia played the tough defense and forced a turnover, the Ricky Parker interception, but they slammed him on the run a couple of times before that. So Jay Gruden has to figure out a way to get the ball into the end zone here.
And Georgia called their second timeout. They have 1 remaining. At NBCSports.com, a special section is coverage of the AFL Conference Finals. Plus, check out an analysis from Pat Hayden on the chances of the Colorado Crush to win the AFL title in just their 3rd season. It's all at NBCSports.com. Colorado playing host to Chicago in the American Conference Championship tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, right here on NBC. 1st and goal for Orlando. Brown on the run. Brown finds a seam and gets dumped at about the 1. Had 4 rushing touchdowns during the regular season. They like his shiftiness. They say that he almost runs the ball like a running back.
Yeah, he does run the ball like a running back, and he's got very good timing. You see the motion cutting across. The perfect timing of the snap by Hamilton sets this play up nicely. And I think Brown, if he would have just got up in there and the blockers hit and tried to force the issue immediately, he had a better chance.
Georgia uses their last timeout trying to save as much time as possible because Orlando gets the ball to start the third. Once we get to 1 minute, the 1 minute timing rules will come in effect.
Right, and they want to make sure they have an opportunity to be the last team to score in this half.
Corey Fleming, a dangerous weapon. Corey Fleming took center stage in our spotlight.
My favorite daytime show has to be Friends. Got to be the trilogy of The Godfather. It's a favorite ringtone.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
Favorite cartoon character as a kid had to be Bugs Bunny.
Well, they hand it off to Nagel on the 2nd and goal, and he runs it in for the touchdown. And no laughing matter there for the Georgia force as Orlando and Corey Fleming's squad score on the Nagel touchdown run, his second of the ball game.
Yeah, and a big block by Reggie Lee over there as he worked on Jermaine Smith and got him hooked inside, and that allowed Nagel to get it to the outside. You're going to see the result of the block as nobody touches Nagel. But a nice job up there up front by Reggie Lee, who came into this league as a defensive guy, and he's worked his way. Now his reputation is as an offensive guy up front.
Hensley for the extra point. Sanders to hold, gets it down cleanly. Oh, that was shanked that one.
Thank you very much.
7-iron.
Not very good there from Hensley. I don't know if there was problems with the operation, but he missed that by about as far as you can miss an extra point.
He's talking with Chris Sanders. Michael Brown, Kevin Nagel able to power it. Nagel with the 2-yard touchdown run as Orlando gets a stop, and then they score. Their lead is 7. 1 minute warning in effect.
What do I want people to know about me in winning the World Series of Poker? I highly recommend it. Is there anything I miss about my old life? No. When you play poker, one thing is always true. You may win, you may lose, but there's always something you can learn. If you want to get better at poker, log on to PokerStars.net. Maybe one day, you'll be the world champion. My lifestyle has changed a lot, but I'm still the same guy. Same guy, nicer watch.
Right on target. Now you can target only your gray hair with Just for Men. In 5 easy minutes, it replaces gray with subtle tones for a natural look.
You're right on target.
Right on target. Just for Men, the Rejuvenator.
Introducing Aqua Velva Ice Balm Aftershave. Alcohol-free, vitamin-infused. Skincare from A to V.
Product not yet rated. EA Sports. It's in the game.
Welcome to the Subway AFL and NBC studio. At halftime, I'd love to be talking Joey Hamilton's athleticism, but I think we're going to be talking about missed extra points.
Yeah, it's going to come down to something just like we saw there. 2 missed extra points in this game, although both defenses are playing great, and that's really the story.
Plus, Mike Hohensee, the head coach of the Chicago Rush, watching this game live with his entire team. He will join us as well as we continue to cover Conference Championship Weekend with the AFL on NBC. Let's go back to Bob and Ray.
All right, Alan Glenn, 27-20, Orlando in front with the 1 minute timing rules in effect.
Orlando has 3 timeouts remaining. This is a good point for an onside kick.
Hensley squibs it over the wall. And that's a touchback, so they do not give Jackson a chance at a return. And out Nagy. There's play selection.
I'm surprised by all these 5-step drops that they have run. They are really not showing a whole lot of respect to that Orlando pass rush thus far. Usually you run a lot of 3-step, but right now it's been 5.
For those of you maybe not as familiar with the AFL, here's where basketball meets football. Clock management in the last minute. Georgia wants to use as much of the clock as possible, knowing Orlando gets the ball to start the third. Jackson's wide open. Makes McIntyre miss and gets ducked at the 12.
I think that was another conversion route by Chris Jackson. I think he was going to run the hitch, and Mike Brown squatted on him again, and Jackson blew by him. Here's Jackson coming. I think he's supposed to run a hitch. You saw Brown just squatted and let him go down the sidelines, and McIntyre's too late getting over there. That's just a great adjustment by Chris Jackson on the route, seeing what he was being given, and then Matt Nagy saw it as well, and they hooked up.
Jackson with 3 catches for 93 yards. And 2 touchdowns here in the first half. 1st and 10.
Here comes a running play.
Thomas to fullback.
Or not.
Nagy. Jackson. Like the run. He gets out of bounds. That'll stop the clock. That is not what Jackson wanted.
Now they'd like to score as the buzzer goes off here at halftime. That's why I anticipated the run, to try and eat up some of that clock.
Were you surprised after that Jackson catch and run that Jay Gruden did not use one of his timeouts?
Yeah, I am. I think he lost about 20 seconds there.
Second and 5 for the Force. Jackson in motion. Nagy under some pressure. Sidearms it, nearly intercepted by Harris as he stepped in front of Lee.
Boy, E.J. Burt was coming around the corner that time, and Matt Nagy has that extra sense of feeling that pocket collapse, and he got out of there just in time, or it could have been a disaster.
And then Johnny Harris nearly had the interception. That stops the clock with 19 seconds. Harris coming off completely torn patella tendon in his knee. Suffered the injury at the end of the 2003 regular season with the Giants.
Here's E.J. Burt right up top. Watch him come around the corner. Jermaine Smith just standing still, and E.J. runs the hoop better than anybody in this league. And the hoop meaning that outside around the corner rush.
Jackson in motion. Nagy to the end zone. Dropped by Jackson. McIntyre flashed in front of his face. But that's one Jackson will reel in 99 out of 100.
Yeah, you don't see that happen very often. And I think the flash by McIntyre disrupted the view of Chris Jackson, and the ball got up on him and hit him in the chest. He didn't get it with his hands. Right there's the flash. In fact, I think he even tipped it a little bit. Take a look here and see if McIntyre gets a hand on it. I think he did. If not, he certainly disrupted Jackson's vision.
Now, this is a huge play now for Georgia. They have a 4th down. They can get a 1st down without a touchdown. 4th and 5. Nagy, Lee, no flag, incomplete. Another stop by Orlando. Harris on the coverage.
That's why Jay Gruden brought Johnny Harris into the fold 8 weeks ago, to cover guys like Derek Lee in situations like that.
Harris thought his football career could be over after severing his patella tendon.
You see Harris with the good coverage, but the throw from Nagy was a little bit wide. He never really gave him a chance to get to that football. But again, Harris right there.
And now Orlando with 3 timeouts and 9 seconds. In the AFL, folks, plenty of time. Hamilton, Brown, caught it, got out of bounds. 4 seconds to go.
Just a little bench route there. And now with 4 seconds to go, you're going to bring your field goal team out. I don't think you have time to snap it again.
Well, Orlando will get the ball to start the 3rd. Remember what happened to Tampa Bay last week against Georgia. They tried a field goal late in the half that was returned for a touchdown.
Yeah, Troy Bergeron returned it 56 yards for the score on the final play of the half to give Georgia a 7-point lead going in.
With Philadelphia last year, Hensley's long was 52 yards. Timeout by Orlando. This will be a 48-yarder. Hensley had been working out in the offseason. Was with Philadelphia last year. Went to San Jose. Went through a grueling kicking competition. Took about a week off. Was in Stuart, Florida, painting his boat at the boatyard, and Coach Muncy, Brett Muncy, the assistant coach for Orlando, called and said, "We need a kicker. Jay Taylor's hurt." He said, "I'm there. I'm your man." He said, "I always wanted to play for Orlando." He said, "I'm happy to be here." 48 yards with 4 seconds to go. Bergeron is back deep. If this kick is missed, Bergeron can return it.
Georgia blocked 2 kicks in that game last week against Tampa as well.
Inslee sets it on its way. It's short, and Bergeron with a chance. Bergeron to the wall. Bergeron gets a block. Oh, and he got tripped up at the last second by Doug Miller. The big, beefy Miller at 290 pounds saved the score.
Boy, that was just an amazing. You talk about a shoestring tackle right there. I was saying Bergeron was gone because he had that opening and hit that final gear. But Doug Miller is able to reach out and just trip him up with the fingertips.
We heard Jay Gruden in the locker room before the game say, don't rely just on Joey and Corey to make plays. Everybody's got to make a play if we want to go to the Arena Bowl.
And this was exactly how Bergeron ran it back last week. Went around that outside, and here he is, and it looks like he's gone to the races right there. But a hustle play from Doug Miller trips him up.
That's exactly what Coach Gruden told his team before the game.
Yeah, the kicker, Derek Lee blocked the kicker, and it was off to the races there, except for Doug Miller with the hustle play. And here he is right there. He trips that foot, kicks that ankle against the other leg, and Bergeron couldn't maintain the balance.
And that is huge because Orlando and Doug Miller have the lead, 27-20 at the half, and Orlando gets the ball to start the third quarter. We now go to Al Troutwig in New York for the Subway AFL on NBC halftime report.
Welcome inside the Subway AFL on NBC studio. Subway, eat fresh. Here's Al Troutwig.
Joined by Glenn Parker with the big trophy in the house. It'll be given away next weekend at Arena Bowl 19. I cannot believe the unnecessary gamble that Jay Gruden took just now in the final seconds, having watched what happened last week, putting it into the same hands of the guy who did it last week, and it almost happened again.
He's got confidence in his guys going downfield, other guys making plays, and he proved himself right, didn't he?
Key thing now, Orlando is still up a stop, and we're not chasing extra points missed. That's all even. One thing that changed, early in the game when things started so fast, Orlando decided to go to a strength, and that is the athleticism of Joey Hamilton.
Yeah, how often do you want your quarterback, though, doing something like this? But you know what? It tells you about the gravity of the situation. You've got to get points on the board, and you've got to get control of the game. They do that by running the ball, slowing the tempo down, therefore actually speeding the clock up, getting their chances, and you see Nagel run it in right there.
And that's one thing that was proven during the season that was proven here again, and it's success in the red zone. Now, they're not using Corey Fleming. Maybe that's all part of the roots that they're trying to create by going to the ground.
Yeah, it might be. Everybody knows you go to a big guy in the red zone, but instead they're running the ball, and they're doing it very effectively. Nagel, 2 touchdowns on the day.
2 great defenses. The guys have been talking about it all game, and great defenses force teams to make mistakes. Matt Nagy's actually moving back before the snap is complete. That's a fumble. Now, the key thing here is, Glenn, what does Orlando do?
Hey, you have got to capitalize. Well, they come back, and Hamilton with the ball got forced into a mistake here by Georgia, but they do not capitalize. It bounces out. Gaines doesn't get it. So what happens? Right back comes Hamilton, and boom, they nail Brett Cooper for the touchdown. They capitalize on that, and they get the extra point.
Orlando, next possession with Georgia, chasing that interception, and they get it back. Ricky Parker pulls it with a fabulous burst of strength, and here's a look at the way this game has gone so far. Georgia has committed a fumble, a missed extra point, a dropped touchdown, and failed twice on 4th down. Orlando's in front with a stop because they have made fewer mistakes, missing an extra point and an interception.
Absolutely. Remember, Orlando is not chasing the points. They have a possession up. They're getting the ball coming out. And Orlando, 9-0 when leading at the half this year. So they are in a very strong position right now.
The other thing that makes that play at the end of the half even worse was that this kicker's just in a long line of kickers that Orlando has tried to fill with. And they just, I don't know how they can have any confidence that he's going to make it.
Yeah, I'm going for the touchdown. I'm throwing it. I'm putting it down the field. I'm going to try to get points on the board that way rather than kick it and put it in the hands of Bergeron, who is going to return it. And we saw it did a good job.
It scares me when we agree like that.
I know it.
Meanwhile, thinking ahead to next weekend and doing something good, Gibson has donated this customized Arena Bowl 19 Les Paul studio guitar that'll be autographed by AFL celebrities. You can bid on it starting today through June 13th at ArenaBowl.com. All proceeds of the auction will go to the Al Lucas Trust Fund to help pay for the education and general living expenses of his surviving child, Mariah. Obviously, that's a great thing. Log on to ArenaBowl.com for more information. When we come back, we'll talk live to Chicago head coach Mike Hohensee, who's there, ready to go as the Rush prepare for tomorrow's American Conference Championship in Colorado. But first, we go to break with these musical performers that we'll see at next week's Arena Bowl Las Vegas weekend.
NFL Network is great, but I've got some programming ideas for them.
Tom Coughlin's Good Time Comedy Hour. Show starts at 8. Don't be late.
I smell Emmy. Big game hunting with Tori Big Game Holt.
I might watch that.
Hello? Green Acres?
The Bill Cower Power Hour.
Excuse me.
A little comedy, a little weightlifting.
Now that's quality television.
The Arena Football League's Arena Bowl 19 weekend is playing Vegas, June 10th, 11th, and 12th. Don't miss the party. The weekend begins on Friday, June 10th with the Arena Battle Celebrity Skills Challenge. On Saturday, June 11th, Arena Bag rocks the MGM Grand Garden Arena. And on Sunday, June 12th, the Arena Bowl 19 Championship Game. Order your tickets today. Call 1-866-AFL-CIXS or log on to arenabowl.com. Arena Bowl 19 Las Vegas weekend, presented by ADT.
Next Saturday, let the show begin. The world's biggest stars align in Louisville, Kentucky for the Do Action Sports Tour. Skateboarding, BMX, freestyle motocross. It's the Pro Tour of Action Sports. The Panasonic Open, live next Saturday, 2 Eastern, NBC.
We have a chance to do something great. Cut! Down goes Kaleo. Chicago with a tremendous fourth quarter rally. He's into the end zone. Chicago's got it. And a rush in the American Conference Finals.
Those are the highlights of last week's stirring win for the Chicago Rush, down 18 at halftime. Joining us now is the head coach of the Rush. That would be Mike Hohensee, who's watching this game that we're seeing today on NBC with his team in Chicago. Mike, coming back from 18 down at halftime after spending more than a decade in this league, where does last week's win rank in your career?
It's one of the best. I mean, I don't remember a team coming back from 18, especially in the playoffs, on the road against a quality football team like L.A. and doing it in the fashion that we did with such a great effort in the second half.
You've spent so much time emphasizing defense. It must have been very rewarding to see how definitively the game ended. I mean, that was some smack that John Kaleo took coughing up the football.
Well, that's probably the area of our team that we made the most changes in the offseason. So to see those guys come along all year and to see that effort finally pay off in the way it did is great for these players. Coach, you're watching today's game. What do you see so far out of these two teams that impresses you? Well, I think right now Orlando's impressing me the most. I think the flow of the game for them is going better. They've gotten a fumbled snap. They've had 2 stops. And I think their offense is controlling the ball a little more, where Georgia's out there. They're getting big plays and getting scores, but they haven't really marched the ball down the field. And they also missed an opportunity with that missed interception in the end zone. Well, Coach, you're watching this game today with your team. What's that experience been like? A little bit of a bonding one, I hope. It's been good. We have a little pool going, and I think our general manager won the first quarter, so I don't know if it's really a fair pool that's going on right now. But the guys are having fun. We got some finger foods in there, and it's just another opportunity for our guys to be together.
Hey, Coach, your kids call Mike Daly, your opposing head coach tomorrow, Uncle. He was your best man in your wedding. How does that affect what goes on in tomorrow's game?
It doesn't affect it. You know, really what it affects is how we approach each other after the game. One of us is going to be ecstatic about what's going on, and the other one will have to be happy for the other guy and be his biggest fan. And I hope it's Mike Daly rooting for me. Well, you improved your pass rush. You told us about that. Tell us a little bit about Atu Molden and how we might expect to see him used tomorrow. Well, you know, there's no surprise about Atu. What you see is what you get. The kid gives 100% effort in all 3 phases of the game. He's a tremendous route runner, and when you get down by the goal line, he's one of those kids you have to be aware of.
Coach, can you tell us about your dreams and what it means to get to the Arena Bowl and win it?
Well, they've heard about it all year. You know, we talked about it in the very first meeting of the season in training camp, how long it's been since I've been there. It's been 19 years. I've had more than my share of semifinals, and I've already seen some examples of how you lose semifinal games today with some dropped interceptions, some fumble snaps. Both are ways that I've lost them.
All right, Coach, we'll be watching tomorrow at 3 Eastern Time. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
All right, a reminder, our sports day here at NBC starts off tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Time with live coverage of the French Open men's final between Spain's Rafael Nadal and Argentina's Mariano Puerta. Then at 2 p.m. Eastern, it's one of the premier track and field meets in the United States, the Nike Prefontaine Classic. And finally, you can see Coach Hohensee and the Chicago Rush take on the Colorado Crush kicking off at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. That's going to do it for the Subway AFL on NBC Studio. We'll get you back to Georgia for the second half right after these messages from your local stations.
Thanks for joining the Subway AFL on NBC Studio. Experience the new great taste of a fresh toasted sub today. Subway, eat fresh.
Last Thursday, your favorite musicians of the past went head-to-head, and the audience voted. This Thursday, it happens again. 5 new performers we know and love. Hear their hits and see how they look. It's the music competition event everyone's talking about. Hit Me Baby One More Time, Thursday night 8 Central. For more, visit NBC.com.
Tickets for both shows are on sale now. Part of the Miller Lite Concert Series, produced by Ron Delsner Presents.
Diamonds, GIA and EGL certified. The Jewelry Factory has thousands of diamonds, all at low prices. Compare the Majors I1 1 carat for $4,900 with our SI quality for $2,900. Quarter carat solitaires are $89, half carat solitaires $299, and 1 carat studs $399. We specialize in 18 karat and platinum and carry 2 caraters and above. Only the Jewelry Factory has a low price and double value guarantee. Buy Factory Direct, the Jewelry Factory in Hackensack.
Sensuous curves draw you in. It listens to your every word and allows you to let go while holding on tight. The 2005 Jaguar S-Type. The power to turn a quick glance into a lasting stare. Can you resist? Allow your Jaguar dealer to indulge you in the most exquisite sales experience in the industry.
The true test of champions is on. The Belmont Centennial, Saturday, June 11th.
Welcome back to Atlanta. We're 30 minutes away from crowning the National Conference Championship. Orlando leading Georgia 27-20 at the half. Bob Papa along with Ray Bentley in a curious decision at the end of the half by Jay Gruden with 4 seconds to go, up 7. Rather than trying a deep pass, he elects to try a field goal and nearly paid dearly for it.
Yeah, he really did. Troy Bergeron almost brought that thing back. Let's take you back to last week's playoff game for Georgia against Tampa Bay. Here's the final play of the first half. A missed field goal. Bergeron fields it, works his way around to the left side. This time, Doug Miller is not there. Derek Lee throws the block, and all of a sudden, Georgia comes up with a 7-point lead at halftime. Now let's go back to the last play of the half in this game. Same setup, Bergeron coming around his left side. Looks like he's got a golden path to the end zone, but a hustling play from Doug Miller right here, tripping up that ankle. Saved the day, saved the play anyway for the Orlando Predators.
And we'll take a look at the first half stats. Each team with 6 possessions, Ray.
Yeah, and the big thing right there, Orlando leads with 3 stops to 2. And then check out this, the rushing yards. Orlando is taking control of the clock and the rhythm and the tempo of this ball game by running the football.
Dave Burns is with Jay Gruden.
And Bob, his Predators are up 7 points now. But Jay, why so little Corey Fleming in the first half?
Well, they're playing a lot of press motion and all that on Jimmy, and we're trying to spread the ball around. We don't want to make it a Corey Fleming show. We have other receivers that are worthy of getting the ball, but you'll see a lot of Corey in the second half.
And you told your team before this game, everybody's got to make a play. Tackle at the an example of that.
Big play. You never know when the big plays present themselves, and that was a big play. That saved us 7 points, and hopefully we'll get more of that from Doug.
All right, that's Jake Bob.
All right, Joe Hamilton ready to take charge. Orlando gets the ball. They won the coin toss. They deferred to the third, as most teams will do. So Nelson Garner of Georgia will kick off with the Force trailing by 7. The dangerous Jarian James back deep for Orlando. Huge big first possession here for Orlando. Huge kick by Garner, well over the netting, and Orlando will start 1st and 10 at their own 5-yard line as we take a look at the quarterback comparison for Joe Hamilton and Matt Nagy.
You see Hamilton 11 out of 14 for just 83 yards. They've had a little bit of a short field with some of the turnovers, and then they have all those rushing yards. And then for Matt Nagy, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He did have the 1 fumble. He fumbled that snap early on.
Hamilton has run it 5 times for 16 yards, part of his yardage total. Fleming in motion. Looking for James deep. Parker right there. Great position by Parker. The pass incomplete.
And he did run Corey Fleming in motion that time. And when you do that, he's usually the primary receiver. But as we spoke, as Dave Burns said to Jay Gruden, haven't gone to Corey Fleming much. And we'll show you he only threw at him 3 times there in the first half, and just 2 catches for the 24 yards and no touchdowns. So as Gruden said, we expect to see a lot more Fleming here in the second half.
Fleming, the motion man, bottom of your screen. Fleming on the slant. Fleming is going to go. Corey Fleming, 45 yards.
Just a matter of time, wasn't it?
And he's so strong that if you don't have a great angle to tackle him, he's going to break it and go.
All right, let's take a look. Gaines is right here. He's the man covering Corey Fleming, and Fleming is the receiver who's right here. You're going to watch. It's just going to be a slant route, and the timing from Joe Hamilton is perfect. He gets that ball out so quick that Gaines never had a chance to react, and Fleming caught it in full stride, and there was no way anyone was going to catch him after that.
Look like Jerry Rice in his prime there. Maybe a little slower, but that quick slant, break a tackle, and go. Hensley's extra point is good, so Orlando goes up 2 possessions. Corey Fleming, the 45-yard catch and run for the score for Orlando.
And here's another look at it. Bob Fleming taking this quick slant route. Joe Hamilton just a 1-step drop. Gets that ball out on perfect time. Kevin Gaines really never had a chance to cover Fleming on that one. And the Orlando Predator offense starts out this second half on fire, going to their go-to guy, Corey Fleming, with the big touchdown from Joe Hamilton.
NASCAR returns to Daytona, the Pepsi 400 live in primetime, July 2nd on NBC.
Hey, I'm Jimmy.
I'm Terry.
I'm John.
And
I'm one of Earthlink's 2,000 employees.
I'm your internet service provider.
Your ISP. I am not a giant server in an air-conditioned room. I'm a living, breathing, hardworking internet person.
Just like you.
I'm watching out for you on the internet 24/7. We've created spam blocker,
virus blocker,
spyware blocker,
scam blocker. If there's a problem, we create a blocker for it.
We love our jobs. We love what we do, and we enjoy it.
We're here to protect and serve you.
More speed, more security, that's Earthlink. Earthlink, we revolve around you.
Something's never changed.
Look at this kid. Spence, what's going on, man? Let me see. How you doing? Sharp, buddy. How's the Army treating you?
It's good. It's real good.
What do they got you doing? Like jumping out of planes? Or?
No, I'm working with computers.
Computers? Well, you could have done that here, right?
Yeah.
What's the setting?
0439 Zulu.
We're good. Not really.
Get strength for now, strength for later. Learn more at GoArmy.com.
The AFL on NBC is brought to you by the United States Army, an army of one. By new Budweiser Select, brewed for a crisp taste that finishes clean. Be selective. And by Earthlink. Earthlink, we revolve around you. Orlando in front, 34-20. Sneak peek time with Dave Burns.
And Joe Hamilton, who just threw that 45-yard TD pass. look at the screen and tell us here what was unusual about that route and why you called it.
Well, it's just one thing about it. We saw the middle guy do something different in the previous play. And here we seen our motion guy in motion. Corey Fleming ran a slant like he do so well. He came in there, hit him with a strike. You know, all she wrote, man, that was a huge play to come out in the first half. Up 7 and to go up 14. That's big for us.
Hey, were you ready to throw to Corey after not doing much to him in the first half?
Exactly. You know, that's our game player. You know, that's our game playmaker. And he's going to make plays. We never forget about him. But every guy was making plays and we was up. So we're going to get him involved.
And that's a big play to start the second half, guys.
Yeah, I asked Joe Hamilton a couple weeks ago about playing with Corey Fleming, and he said, he is my big, big security blanket.
Yeah, very big. And a nice play call running a slant with the motion man. Usually that's a stationary route.
Short kick by Hensley, and it just goes underneath the iron for a touchback. Whereas Garner's kicked it over the net. Hensley twice has kicked it under the net for touchback.
Time for Matt Nagy to get this football team going, get his offense going, and get back into this ball game. Down 2 scores, every possession becomes that much more important and that much more precious to the Force offense right now.
Nagy took over after Jim Kubiak was injured, suffered a bad knee injury earlier this year. So Kubiak has been very helpful for me throughout the course of the year. Jackson in motion. Nagy. Jackson picks up about 12. Doster on the coverage. Gibson has created a customized ArenaBowl 19 Les Paul studio guitar autographed by AFL celebrities that fans can bid on at ArenaBowl.com. Now, proceeds benefit the Al Lucas Trust Fund, which helps pays for the education and general living expenses for his child Mariah. For more information and your chance to bid, log on to ArenaBowl.com.
A very worthy cause, and everyone by now knows the story of Al Lucas, and see the number 76 being worn on all the helmets in honor of him.
Bergeron in motion. Flags fly as Nagy didn't get the snap. Ball start against Georgia.
Prior to the snap, offsides. Number 22 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Boy, Bergeron.
Yeah, Bergeron. That's just a lack of timing with a quarterback. Bergeron's a motion man right here, and he is 5 yards down the field, 6 yards down the field before Matt Nagy gets the snap. So there's a little confusion there in that Force offense on that last one. And you see Bergeron, not a big factor so far today. He's been in motion 7 times, but has only caught 1 ball.
Orlando doing a good job of disrupting the offensive flow. Lee gobbled up by McIntyre, and the glove makes the tackle after a gain of about 7. Kenny McIntyre, 3-time AFL Defensive Player of the Year. Missed a little time this year. He wants to just keep playing as long as his body feels great.
Yeah, well, he actually got hurt in the first meeting against this Georgia Force team. He made a tackle in the end zone, hit his head on the wall, and they actually had to cart him off of the field on that one. He said he had a little numbness on his left side, and however, the good news for him, he was back playing a week later.
2nd and 9 for Georgia. Jackson can't reel it in as Nagy misfired. He was open. Well, Kenny McIntyre was talking about that game, Week 8, Orlando at Georgia, and just a very scary moment when that wall comes into play, Ray.
Yeah, you're going to see Kenny McIntyre right here. He is chasing Derek Lee, and look, he hit the wall with the top of his head, and that's where it gets really dangerous when you're out of control going against that wall. And the good news is he was back playing right away that next week, but he said it was one of the scariest feelings he ever had. He said he blacked out for about a minute, and when he came to, he was almost afraid to try and move.
Huge 3rd down here for Georgia. Jackson in motion. Nagy has some time, settles and hits Jackson for the first down. McIntyre on the tackle. Gain of 13.
Great timing from Matt Nagy on that route. He had Chris Jackson just run a deep stack route or a curl route. You see him coming up here, and he just turns around and sets into the spot. And then Nagy gets the ball there on time before McIntyre can actually react and make the play.
Jackson nearly had a touchdown near the end of the first half that McIntyre might have just tipped, and Georgia wound up getting stopped on downs there. Big sequence in the game. Bergeron in motion on a 1st and 10. Nagy. Jackson's wide open. Jackson, touchdown! Great move by Jackson, his 3rd touchdown catch of the game.
Boy, and that was a zone defense by Orlando. Reggie Doster was dropping off. Here's Doster right here, and he is going to drop back and allow this man right here underneath Jackson a lot of room. Doster's going to drop back and help play that zone. Look at all the space that Chris Jackson has. There's nobody within 12 yards of him, and when he gets an open field, boy, he's tough to bring down.
But Jackson with 3 touchdown catches today. Garner, who has missed an extra point in this game, will attempt one here. And Garner knocks it over the slack netting. It's good. So Chris Jackson and the Georgia Force respond after Orlando took a 2-touchdown lead to start the third. Nagy hooking up with Jackson for a third time. National Conference Championship on NBC.
Kid, how many fingers I got up?
4.
What city are we in?
I don't know.
You remember what you did last night?
No.
Remember what I did last night?
No.
He's fine. It's all good. Let him in.
I worried about leaving my family alone when I traveled. What if something happened? That's why I got ADT.
I came home one night and found a burglar in my house. And we live in a nice neighborhood. That's why I got ADT.
And now you can get the peace of mind that comes from America's #1 security company. Call now and save $100 off the regular price when you buy ADT's family package. Why worry when you have the security of ADT? ADT, always there.
You know what they say, Prince. Big boots, big odor.
Only Odor Eaters has Zorbatex technology to absorb sweat and destroy odor on contact. Odor Eaters Foot and Sneaker Spray.
Stops odor. Dries crystal clear.
Odor Eaters insoles, fancy footwork, play of the week.
Chris Jackson now runs around the end zone. Now he hurdles the player. He's got to get around George. Jackson's going to take it back all the way. Touchdown, Georgia.
Airborne. And then off to the races for the game-winning touchdown, leaving these feet 1 win shy of the Big Dance.
You cannot put a value on what he has brought to this team.
The Odor Eaters insoles fancy footwork play of the week.
Jermaine Smith and the Georgia Force within 7 of Orlando. Chris Jackson 3 touchdown catches. Dave Burns is with the quarterback of the Force, Matt Nagy.
Guy who threw those touchdowns. So Matt, little slow start to the offense. Seems to be picking up though now.
Yeah, we need to pick it up here. They came out and made some good stops, but we need to just keep scoring every possession, and hopefully we can get some stops on defense.
Let's look at this play now. Works so well.
Well, what I'm trying to do here is look off the Jack linebacker in the backside corner, Doster, and just get the ball to CJ, let him make him, which is exactly what he did. It worked out well.
Chris Jackson caught the pass. TD, Georgia.
Matt Nagy. 3 great weapons to choose from. Been mostly Jackson today.
And pretty much all Chris Jackson today. Derek Lee's had some plays as well. 5 catches, 81 yards, and a touchdown. But Jackson now 7 catches, 142 yards, and 3 scores, Bob.
Last week, Jackson won his first ever playoff game with Georgia. Garner, swimming kick that goes out of bounds. Well, they're ruling it a touchback.
It landed in the end zone, so that's why it's a touchback.
Now Chris Jackson, an unbelievable career and having a great game.
He really is. He got loose early on that one. And here's another move where he spun Kenny McIntyre completely around. And in this last one, he caught it underneath. Shows you he can get to the end zone from out on the field a little bit, too, with a little run after the catch.
7 catches, 142 yards. Now playing the Jack linebacker. Frizzell in motion for Orlando. They lead by 7. Frizzell with the catch. Parker wrestles him down. Gain of 5.
And our stat man, Rudy Cleveter, just handed me a note. Georgia has only hit Joe Hamilton 1 time this entire ball game. They're going to need to get some pass rush going here in the second half, or Joe's just going to sit back there and continue to pick them apart. See the play selection for the Predators, a nice mix. Look at that, 11 runs over here. That's been a huge part of the plan today, and it's worked very well.
2nd and 4, Frizzell in motion. Hamilton, Frizzell wide open. Parker will wrestle him down hard. Rips off his helmet, but it's a first down for Orlando.
Jimmy Frizzell is a big part of this offense, as Jay Gruden told us when he was put into the lineup. It was the final missing piece for Joe Hamilton and his comfort in this. Just a little bench route, run it up the field, get the separation, force the defender back a little bit, and then break it off towards the bench. And then Hamilton, the big 5-step drop, and then the quick arm, the good release. Did take a hit after that one, but not in time to really affect the play.
1st and 10 for Orlando here in the 3rd. The winner advances to ArenaBowl 19 next Sunday in Las Vegas. Hamilton has Fleming wide open again. Makes a man miss. Coggins, touchdown Orlando.
Well, what can you say, man? That's Corey Fleming. Just amazing, and a good read by Joe Hamilton. Fleming actually got a little pick. He got a little help from Jimmy Frizzell on the route. Frizzell kind of worked outside. Fleming cut in underneath him and was wide open running down that seam. And all Joe Hamilton has to do is just throw a nice little slant down there in the middle. Nobody near Fleming. And boy, when he gets in the open field, he's a load to bring down.
Easy throw for Hamilton. Fleming does the rest. Coggins missed the tackle. That was all she wrote. Hensley for a big extra point. And he missed it. Each kicker has missed an extra point. The margin is 13. Corey Fleming was quiet in the first half. His favorite movie is The Godfather. He must have made Joey Hamilton an offer he couldn't refuse, because they're feeding him the ball here in the second half.
And you wonder what took him so long, but you know, when we talked to Jay Gruden about it, he said, you know, other guys got to make plays, and they were spreading the ball around pretty good early, but you knew at some point they were going to have to come back to that man right there, Corey Fleming.
The Fresh Maker. You better think again, baby. Yeah, that's how we roll. Yeah, how you like that? Product not yet rated. EA Sports. It's in the game.
And where are you taking my daughter?
To dinner.
I want to know how.
Well,
What time will you be home? What's your GPA? Where's your resume?
well,
You certified in CPR?
Why is that Grillingham?
What's the state bird of Kentucky?
Everyone's getting grilled with IHOP's new sourdough cheese grillers. Turkey and provolone, roast beef and cheddar, and ham and brie, all on grilled sourdough cheese bread, served with your favorites for a limited time. IHOP. Come hungry, leave happy.
What a summer it's shaping up to be. Tigers rolls back and the rest of the world has taken notice. Lefty's been close at Pinehurst before, and VJ's game's never been hotter. Golf's Big Three have their games in full gear heading into golf's greatest championship. The U.S. Open starts Thursday, June 16th on NBC.
Got a long way to go. What's up, everybody in Nashville and Orlando? We're bringing this home to you. The big fella.
Corey Fleming, a couple of huge plays here in the second half for Orlando. They lead it 40-27. The missed extra point by Hensley makes it a 13-point game. Jay Taylor injured the last regular season game. He could be back next week for the Predators. Jackson on the return. Jackson lost the football, and he recovered it one-handed.
Very fortunate for Chris Jackson. Boy, he hit that thing as fast as he could go, and then the ball just kind of jumped out of his hands, and then he was fortunate enough that it laid down there right in front of him, and he was able to pull it in with the one hand.
Each team has turned it over once.
Look, he is hitting this full speed right here, and it looked like 73 Justin Cleveland, was it 93 Kraus? 93 Kraus got the hand in there and kind of batted it out.
1st and 10 for Georgia. Jackson in motion. Bergeron been quiet.
That's the only way he's gotten the ball today. 2 little slip screens. Those are his only 2 catches.
Picks up 9.
They have not found a way to get the ball down the field yet to Troy Bergeron.
Winner of this game advances to ArenaBowl 19 next Sunday in Las Vegas. Chicago watching this game as a team in their hotel room in Colorado tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. It's the Rush against the Colorado Crush for the American Conference Championship. Bergeron in motion. Nagy has Bergeron. Gets tackled immediately by McIntyre. Picks up 8.
Looks like Steve Dunn has opened up the Troy Bergeron play of the playbook.
Steve Dunn, the last offensive coordinator the last 2 years with Dallas.
Really does a nice job. In fact, when Doug Plank hired Steve Dunn, he was really happy with that situation. He said, here was a guy that I had gone against many times and always gave me fits as far as trying to stop his offense. He said he was very happy that he didn't have to worry about stopping it anymore.
Jackson in motion on the 1st and 10 for Georgia. Nagy. Lee picks up about 6. Harris on the tackle. Two excellent games this weekend. Orlando and Georgia, and then Colorado and Chicago tomorrow.
Yeah, I think, you know, when the smoke all cleared, the best 4 teams ended up in the semifinals, and that's the way you want it. That's the way it usually happens, but sometimes upsets happen, crazy things happen. But I think throughout the season, those 4 teams really had the best season.
2nd and 4. Bergeron with the catch and run. Bergeron inside the 5. He has a 1st and goal for Georgia.
Before this drive, Bergeron had just 1 catch. Now he's become the featured guy in this particular series. 3 catches in this drive. This is just going to be a little quick screen again. Pop it out, get it to him quick. Lineman running downfield. Receivers making blocks as well. And James had to come all the way from the backside to make that tackle to save the touchdown.
1st and goal for Georgia. Aldridge on the run, nothing doing. And this is where Orlando is very tough.
Only the 2nd time today that Georgia has run the football. First one was for a 2-yard loss. This one they picked up a couple. But they like to run Chris Jackson in traditional motion down in here, a little jet motion. He runs behind the quarterback like we saw on that last particular play. Sometimes they'll hand it to him, or they'll fake it to him and hand it to the fullback, and then they also have play action off of that set.
Jackson had 3 rushing touchdowns in the regular season. Aldridge the fullback. Jackson in motion. Jackson takes the handoff, and he is stopped by Jerry and James. Lost a yard.
And the timing was off on that play. Chris Jackson got there too quick.
Orlando very tough when you come to red zone goal line defense.
Orlando is one of the best and have been historically of stopping the run down in this area.
So now it is 3rd and goal for the Georgia force.
Boy, look at the rush yards right now. Tremendous advantage for Orlando in this game today.
Spread the field a little bit. Jackson will loop in motion. Nagy will throw. Under some pressure, he's going to run it. Touchdown! Pinballed his way in. There's a flag on the play as well.
Well, that's what you need in a championship-type game.
Holding, 28 on the defense. Penalty is declined. Touchdown.
You need your quarterback to be tough and take it by himself, make plays that he has to make. There's nowhere to go with the football. Matt Nagy says, that's all right. I'm going to run it in myself. And at the end here, you don't see him diving down. He's making people miss and then putting the body on Michael Brown to get it into the end zone.
Jerry and James tried a shoulder rather than a tackle, and Nagy bounced off him. Garner for the extra point. And he missed another one. He missed a couple last week, 3 against Tampa. He's missed 2 today, and now the margin is 7 in Orlando's favor. Matt Nagy had 2 rushing touchdowns during the regular season. Gets one today. The Force within 7.
Next up is number 3. Your word is flossy nihilipilification.
FLXCKI.
No hard words.
Can you give it to me in a sentence, please?
That's why Geico.com is so simple. Or is it because you can file a claim, make changes, or pay your bill online? 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Simple as that.
Well, now, where's the fire, boys? Oh, fresh toasted sandwiches. Well, get those babies home before they get cold.
Fresh toasted sandwiches from Subway restaurants.
I'm hungry. You hungry?
Sponsors of Greg Biffle and Car 16.
If you love your team, you wear the colors. If you need the action, you want the gear. You crave the feeling, you go to ArenaFootball.com. It's the place for official AFL football merchandise. Great brands like Nike, Spalding, and Majestic. Officially licensed AFL merchandise. Get it at ArenaFootball.com.
In the world of high society, there's the socialite and the socially light.
No. Yes.
Beginning June 21st, millionaire Kathy Hilton will try to bridge the gap.
We have a hillbilly, a singing diva, and a British hoochie. We are in trouble.
I Want to Be a Hilton premieres June 21st on NBC.
Come on, let's go! Come on! Come on, baby, I want this too much. I want this too much.
Matt Nagy, the quarterback of the Georgia Force. There's Brett Bucci, the managing partner of the Orlando Predators, looking for another Arena Bowl berth. And Arthur Blank, the owner and CEO of the Georgia Force and Atlanta Falcons. He's with Dave Burns.
Thanks, Bob, with Arthur Blank. Now, you know, Mr. Blank, you've got the Coach of the Year. You've got the Rookie of the Year in Troy Bergeron. You had a great record this year. You just need the icing on the cake now, don't you?
That's right. Well, you know what? This is the icing on the cake. We've got a great crowd here today. We really want to get out and support this team. It's been a great year for us, fabulous year. But obviously, single game elimination. We got to win today to keep going. And we definitely want to go to Las Vegas. I promised these fans a ring, and we want to make sure we get it this year. So we got some going to do right now. We're down by 7 points.
This is so good for a first-year team under your ownership, that is. Is there anything that hasn't gone right for you? Anything you want to do better next year for these fans?
Well, I think we created the right environment for them. We got great facilities, great coaching staff, you know, great roster, and, you know, fans that come out and support the team. And, you know, so we're really good about where we are. And, you know, obviously, we're proud to be part of the AFL. We got, obviously, a Falcons team in the NFL. We're thrilled with that relationship. So we love professional football here in Atlanta.
Great. Thank you, Arthur. And, of course, we were listening to this crowd down here, guys, and we were noting that that's one of the things that's really improved here under his ownership. I don't know if he gets all the credit, but the crowd has gotten so much better over the course of the season at being the 9th player on this team, guys.
And Arthur Blank was in this position in January. His Atlanta Falcons were in the NFC Championship game, one step away from the Super Bowl. His Georgia Force, one step away from an Arena Bowl. But right now, Orlando up by 7. Play clock down to 1. Hamilton lost the football. Falls on it. And it's a safety.
I think it was Jermaine Smith who had that pressure. Knocked the ball out of Joe Hamilton's hands. You saw Joe try to put it outside the end zone to not get the safety, but he was down with it in the end zone, and he's really fortunate it wasn't worse than that, a touchdown. Here's Hamilton. You see Jermaine Smith right there. I don't know if he got there before Hamilton lost the ball or not, but it was Smith with that pressure.
Get one more look at it.
Oh, it just fell right out of Joe Hamilton's hands.
That happened to Hamilton 2 weeks ago in the regular season finale against New Orleans. Tabini Davis ran it in for a score to get New Orleans back in the game.
You know, I'm sorry, Bob, but sometimes a safety is worse than giving up a touchdown there. Now they get the ball back.
So Georgia will get the ball back and a chance to get the lead.
Gee, I had a really good time tonight.
How would you call tonight's date, Clyde?
Well, Keith, looks like Mr. Graybeard is about to strike out. Ooh, bruise and refuse. Get that man our Jessamine brush in gel. It penetrates tough gray and puts it away.
5 easy minutes, hair looks natural.
It's a whole new ball game.
Here's the windup.
Ooh, the shot guy play. Home run. Another win with Just for Men. The Rejuvenator.
Loctite Power Grab. Grabs instantly. With 9 times higher initial hold than the leading brand. Without bracing. Loctite Power Grab. Project solved.
You're going to like these guys, though. They're a pretty good crew. Everybody listen up. This is Levon.
Hey, Levon, I'm 1 team.
You're on the 120 today.
How are you?
So if there's anything you need, just ask these guys. They'll take care of it, all right?
Okay.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
You ever been around anything this fast before?
Yeah. In my last job.
Get strength for now, strength for later. Learn more at GoArmy.com.
Unbelievable drama at the Preakness.
Oh, Scrappy Keith blew the turn, and the Fleet Alex champion Rose almost fell out of the saddle. And in dramatic style, a Fleet Alex has won the Preakness by 5 lengths.
A Fleet Alex looks to thrill us again in the conclusion of the Visa Triple Crown, the Belmont Stakes, next Saturday, 5:30 Eastern.
A livid Orlando head coach Jay Gruden, not only upset with his quarterback Joe Hamilton, but he was mad at himself for the play call, Ray.
Right. He said, why do I let you hold the ball in the end zone like you did? And you see 5-step drop, and Hamilton kind of ran out of time and panicked a little bit and lost the ball. And when we were talking to Jay, he says, it seems like we have one of those kinds of series every game. One bad series, when it rains on us, it pours.
So a safety for Georgia. Jackson on the return, trying to find a seam. Jackson rubbed to the wall by the kicker, Hensley.
Boy, and you can feel it. The momentum has shifted in this arena. Georgia's got a little bounce in their step now.
43 yards for Jackson on the return.
See, the good blocking initially. Jackson, you know, we talked to him. He said, the first thing I do is secure the ball. He said, I don't take off full speed. I look around, see what's there, and then find it in the hole and then hit it. And he said, the last thing I have to do is make the kicker miss. Well, he didn't have a lot of room down there to make Hensley miss, but he did get a nice return.
So great field position for Georgia. Trying to battle back. They've trailed by as many as 14. Bergeron in motion. Nagy under pressure, finds some room, has room to the 5. Harris on the tackle, first and goal, Georgia.
Boy, Matt Nagy using his feet to buy the extra time, and then he gave the body up as he let that pass go. Reggie Lee was waiting for him there and put a shot on him as he let it go, and he still got it to Derek Lee for the first down. Here's Matt Nagy. Watch the feet here. He's good with the feet in the pocket. Finds a way to get through that traffic, takes his lumps, and still delivers the ball.
That'll be the final play of the third quarter. We're 15 minutes of football away from crowning our first entry to ArenaBowl 19. Will it be Georgia or Orlando?
the United States has in China's been on the run.
Go inside the most powerful place on Earth.
We need to extract her.
I've never left anybody behind.
She might be carrying the Holy Grail microchip.
From producer Jerry Bruckheimer, Benjamin Bratt.
We need to put this action together now.
Dennis Hopper in the biggest series this fall.
Sunday mornings at the Pentagon. Can't you just feel the love?
E-Ring, NBC this fall.
Wow. There's a lot of room in here. Seating for 8. It's one of Toyota's SUVs, the Sequoia. This is the Sienna minivan. Separate climate zones, DVD. And it's so big in here, it practically echoes. This Tundra's big, too. And with Toyota's full-size truck, there's even room for a load of lumber. Did you know Toyota made such big cars, trucks, and SUVs? And when it comes to fuel cost, they're among the lowest in their classes. If you have a big family, Toyota is moving you forward.
Jeeves, what delicacy is this? Do I detect a hint of garlic? Oh, yes, I do. Bold, but not overstated. What's that, Jeeves? Oh, don't sneak up on me like that. But yes, I'd love a drink.
Elevate your taste with the new White Castle Roasted Garlic Chicken Sandwich. Tender chicken draped with savory garlic cheese. It's the next big crave.
That'll be all, Jeeves. Really. Run along.
White Castle. What you crave.
Sensuous curves. Draw you in. It listens to your every word. And allows you to let go while holding on tight. The 2005 Jaguar S-Type. The power to turn a quick glance into a lasting stare. Can you resist? Allow your Jaguar dealer to indulge you in the most exquisite sales experience in the industry.
New York Giant All-Pro Tiki Barber live Sunday on Mike Up.
This copyrighted telecast of the Arena Football League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written permission of the AFL and NBC.
Near the end of the third quarter, Orlando up 7 with the ball. Joe Hamilton coughs it up. Safety for Georgia. The Force are right back in the ballgame with possession, but the coaching never stopped for Orlando.
We know where we are in the field now. You gotta be strong in the pocket, be ready to throw it away under pressure, man. No big deal. Can't hold the ball, risk even fumbling back there.
Yeah, Joe Hamilton told us yesterday his dad, Joseph, was his basketball coach when he was a kid, and they were winning a game big, and his dad pulled out all the starters, including Joe, put him back in with 90 seconds to go as his team was starting to lose the game. They lost. Joe said, I was trying after the game. My father said, you must always remember when things go bad to keep your poise and rely on team. And Joe Hamilton will have to call upon that experience today. That's the trophy he'd like, the National Conference Championship. Georgia has other ideas. We start the fourth, 15 minutes away from a trip to ArenaBowl 19. Nagy, sidearm, touchdown Bergeron. And the Force have the lead.
Boy, that's the speed of Troy Bergeron. He just ran right by Kenny McIntyre, tried to press him, he missed. And Bergeron just flew past him, and Nagy threw the perfect strike through all that traffic in the middle.
Georgia's first lead since it was 13-7.
And the Force are going to go for 2 here to try and make it a 3-point game.
I think it's too early, right? I don't like the chasing the too early.
Yeah, I think the fourth quarter is when you do it, and we did just go into the fourth quarter, but I tend to agree. I think you get your points when you can until the end, and then when you can affect the game, then you go for it.
Nagy on the 2-pointer. Can't find Lee. Then again, with the way Garner's kicking, missing 3 extra points last week and 2 already today, maybe going for it gives you a better chance than kicking it.
I don't know. I don't like it because, you know, you kick that extra point, you got a 2-point lead. Another touchdown gives you a 2-possession lead. So I like the 2-point margin if you're ahead by 2.
Then with a touchdown and extra point, you'd go up 9. Doug Plank made the call, didn't pay off this time. But Troy Bergeron, who was quiet early, with a big touchdown catch. Force lead it by 1 early in the fourth with a berth at the ArenaBowl 19 hanging in the balance.
Rafael Nadal goes for the French Open title Sunday, 9 a.m. Eastern, NBC.
Nice car.
I should see my other one.
Nomex survival suit for advanced infantry. Gas-powered magnetic grapple gun.
What is that?
Backup.
Batman Begins. Guy dresses up like a bat. Clearly has issues. Rated PG-13 in theaters and IMAX June 15.
Hey, I'm Jimmy.
I'm Terry.
I'm John. And I'm one of Earthlink's 2,000 employees.
I'm your internet service provider.
Your ISP. I am not a giant server in an air-conditioned room. I'm a living, breathing, hardworking internet person.
Just like you.
I'm watching out for you on the internet 24/7. We've created spam blocker,
virus blocker,
spyware blocker,
scam blocker. If there's a problem, we create a blocker for it.
We love our jobs. We love what we do, and we enjoy it.
We're here to protect and serve you.
More speed, more security. That's Earthlink. Earthlink. We revolve around you.
And where are you taking my daughter?
To dinner.
I want to know how.
Well,
What time will you be home? What's your GPA? Where's your resume? You certified in CPR?
Why is that grilling him?
What's the state bird of Kentucky?
Everyone's getting grilled with IHOP's new sourdough cheese grillers. Turkey and provolone, roast beef and cheddar, and ham and brie, all on grilled sourdough cheese bread served with your favorites for a limited time. IHOP. Come hungry, leave happy.
The AFL on NBC is brought to you by IHOP. Come into IHOP now for new sourdough cheese grillers. IHOP. Come hungry, leave happy. By Las Vegas, home of ArenaBowl 19, Sunday, June 12th. Don't miss the party. And by Batman Begins in theaters June 15th. 51 seconds into the fourth. Georgia with their first lead since it was 13-7. Bob Popper, Ray Bentley, Dave Byrne. Michael Brown back deep to receive the kickoff from Nelson Garner. Into the slack netting. Returnable for Brown. Brown gets dumped at the 12-yard line. John Elway and Mike Ditka. Mike Daly. Good friend Mike Hohensee. Quarterback John Dutton of Colorado. Raymond Filio of Chicago. Damian Harrell. Bob McMillan. Atu Molden.
Keith Gifford. Chicago kicks it up. And good.
And Colorado. American Conference Championship tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, here on NBC.
Chicago has beaten Colorado 2 times previous this season. It'll be interesting to see if they can do it again.
Brown in motion. Hamilton for Brown. He's got him. And a step. Brown reels it in. Touchdown, Orlando. 38 yards. And a big response by the Orlando Predators and Joe Hamilton.
Boy, what a play by, play call, I should say, by Jay Gruden. A little play action. They faked the handoff up inside. And that gives Brown, Mike Brown's right here. And you're going to see they're going to fake the handoff right in here. And that buys just enough time. Ricky Parker, he bites on that little bit of a fake. And that gives Brown just enough time to blow by him right there. You see just that little reaction. But Parker on the run fake gave Brown just enough room to blast past him, and then a perfect throw from Joe Hamilton.
Michael Brown in his second year out of Charleston Southern with a huge 38-yard touchdown catch. Reggie Lee shaken up on the play.
Looks like they're rubbing his calf there.
And Joe Hamilton, after that safety, responds in a big way.
Here's the ISO on Brown, and he kind of works inside like he's going to block the jack linebacker. Ricky Parker saw that. He had to come up because he's got contained against the run. And by the time he reacted, it was too late, and Brown had to step on him. And then it's just a foot race and a perfect throw from Hamilton over the shoulder.
And Hamilton showed that poise, coming back and laying a perfect ball to Brown. Lee walking off under his own power.
And Michael Brown has made a lot of plays with this Orlando football team this year.
And Doug Plank, you got to look at him, the head coach of the Georgia Force, and Jay Gruden, the head coach of Orlando. Coach Plank has been to the last 3 Arena Bowls as an assistant with Arizona. Come up short. Hensley for the extra point.
And here some people might want to go for 2 in this situation, but I think Jay Gruden does the right thing. But they still miss it.
So Hensley has missed a couple of extra points. And now it's a 5-point margin. Corey Fleming talking with Hensley and Chris Sanders, the holder.
You know, I think, Bobby, it was important for Joe Hamilton to come back and be successful on the next drive after that safety and that big problem he had previously. He showed that poise you talked about.
No, he's so bubbly and exuberant. Joe Hamilton, though, settled down just enough to give us a scouting report of himself.
Hello, this is Joe Hamilton, quarterback of the Orlando Predators, and this is how you play quarterback in the AFL. Being a quarterback, if you love to throw and you love to be involved and score touchdowns and throw touchdowns, there's no better place to be in an arena. When that final score shows in the Predators' favor, I'm just as happy as anybody who's thrown 100 touchdowns in a game. So the ultimate goal, my ultimate goal, our ultimate goal as Predators is to make sure we get a win.
Joe Hamilton, he puts his team in front. That 38-yard touchdown pass to Michael Brown. You know, just thinking ahead to Arena Bowl 19 next weekend, whether it's Orlando or if it's Georgia, no matter who comes out of that Chicago-Colorado game, the kicking edge is going to be decidedly in favor of the American Conference team because Keith Gispert of Chicago and Clay Rush of Chicago are much better, of Colorado are much better than the two kickers in this game.
They certainly have been throughout the course of the year, but kicking is such a whimsical thing in arena football. You don't know from game to game. You don't know from kick to kick what your guy's going to do.
Hensley's kick, low off the netting, returnable for Bergeron. Gobbled up at the 15-yard line. Doster on the tackle. Next Sunday, Arena Bowl 19 is playing Las Vegas. Don't miss the party and a special performance by Brian Adams at halftime. For your tickets to Arena Bowl 19 Las Vegas, call 866-AFL-TIX, 866-AFL-TIXS, or go to arenabowl.com. We've been talking about that American Conference Championship game tomorrow, Chicago and Colorado. You and I have had a chance to work a lot of Chicago and Colorado games. I just want to wish the best to both teams tomorrow and also say thank you to Coach Daly, Coach Hohensee, and the players on each team for being very accommodating to you and I during the course of the season.
Yeah, and not only them, but everybody. This has been a great year, and you know, the thank yous go out to all the organizations who have treated us very well and taken care of our needs as we've come to broadcast their games. It's been a great season.
You heard Matt Nagy in the third quarter say, I want to win this thing. I want to go on. Well, his team is down by 5 right now. They have the football. A lot of game left. Parker, the motion man for Georgia. Little slip screen, Bergeron. And a good defense by Harris and Doster to shut it down after a short game. Time for our Aaron's game summary. Joe Hamilton, 5 touchdowns. Did give up that safety. Nagy, 5 touchdowns. He has a fumble. Chris Jackson has been huge with 142 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, and we haven't called his name out here in a little bit, and I imagine that they're going to try to get it to Chris Jackson here, make something happen here in this fourth quarter, except that he's not in the game right now. Derek Lee is in that spot, Bergeron the OS, and Ricky Parker playing the backside.
Bergeron settles in. McIntyre and friends make the tackle, but it's a first down for Georgia. Darian James helped out. 14 yards for Bergeron, who did not play a single snap of college football. Started at Auburn, then went to Middle Tennessee State, was redshirted, never played a single snap of college football, Ray Bentley. That's amazing what he's done in his first year in the AFL.
Yeah, it is incredible, and you know, some guys have that talent and don't have opportunities. And finally, Troy Bergeron getting an opportunity to showcase those talents.
Did play in AF2 to gain some arena experience. 1st and 10. Set. Nagy gets rid of it to Lee. Harris keeps it to a minimal gain.
You know, you have to give some credit to the Georgia Force front line today, too. They've really done a nice job of protecting Matt Nagy for the most part. He's been hit 7 times so far on the day, but not that big one yet where they force a fumble where E.J. Burt comes around a corner and knocks it out of his hands. Haven't seen that play yet, and that's the thing that this Orlando team thrives on. E.J. Burt making a play, turning things around.
He's been quiet. Elfrid Payton is in for Orlando on that line. He's a pass rushing specialist. Nagy, sacked by Burke. On cue for Ray Bentley.
Yeah, but he didn't force the fumble like I had called.
I think Nagy might have felt it and tucked it.
You're right. Matt Nagy did protect the ball. Watch, you're going to see E.J. Burke show up. Watch his hand go up high. Right there. See that hand go up high and come down on the football? That's something that he works on, that he took to heart from a coach that gave him that advice to do that. And he said, he just kind of took it like a duck to water. He just took the tomahawk chop and put it in there as his own thing, and he does it every time he gets back to the quarterback.
So now it's 3rd and long for Georgia. 3rd and 13. Nagy again to the end zone. Touchdown Bergeron, right over McIntyre. Kenny McIntyre specializes in undercutting, but he was not tall enough to knock it away.
Yeah, but the key to that one was Matt Nagy moving around in the pocket to buy the time to deliver that throw. Again, he rolled to his right a little bit, bought the time, and then threw the perfect ball over the top of the undercutting McIntyre. Watch Nagy. He's going to step up into the pocket, see him step up there and move it to his right, and that bought him just enough time, and he makes the perfect throw on the move. That's a great play by Matt Nagy.
And originally, Georgia sent out the extra point team. But after reconsidering, they're going to go for 2. An extra point doesn't do them a whole heck of a lot. And they only have 5 seconds on the play clock.
I don't like it. I just think you got to kick this one.
Nagy just gets it off. Lobs it for Lee. Got it. Oh, it's helter-skelter for the Georgia force.
Boy, he barely got that thing off, too. The play clock flipped over to 0 just as the ball was snapped.
During the regular season, they were 3 for 3 on 2-point conversions. Missed one earlier, but they get that one to make it a 3-point game with 8:38 to go.
And if Doug Blank had just chose to kick both extra points, it'd be the same thing. He went for 2 earlier, didn't get it, got the 2 this time, and got himself the 3-point lead as nobody followed Derek Lee back to that corner.
Doug Blank willing it into Lee's hands for the 2. 3-point lead for the force.
I woke up in the middle of the night, terrified. Someone tried to come in my house. Fortunately, we had an ADT security system.
Mrs. Parker, this is ADT. We're receiving an alarm. Are you all right?
Yes, we're okay. I'm glad ADT was there, watching out for my family.
Don't take chances. Take control of your family's safety with ADT, America's #1 security company. Call now and save $100 off when you buy ADT's family package. ADT, always there.
You know what they say, Prince. Big boots, big odor.
Only Odor Eaters has Zorbatex technology to absorb sweat and destroy odor on contact. Odor Eaters foot and sneaker spray.
Stops odor. Dries crystal clear.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Cindy.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Jan.
I'm Marsha.
I'm Rachel. Hi, I'm Monica.
I'm Phoebe.
Hi, Phoebe.
I'm Carrie. Charlotte.
Miranda.
I'm Samantha.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Zena.
Zena?
Yes, Zena.
I'm Lucy. This is my friend Ethel.
Hi, my name's Louise. Call me Weezy.
Hi, I'm Ginger.
Ginger. I'm Cliff, and this is my buddy Norm. Hey.
Product not yet rated. EA Sports. It's in the game.
National Conference Championship. Georgia leading Orlando by 3 with 8:38 to go. Jay Gruden knows that when you play Georgia, it's going to be close.
Yeah, it's been close. First time they met, a 2-point Georgia win. Second time, a 3-point Orlando win. Now this next one, Georgia up by 3. And look at that bottom line there. In all the football that these two teams have played against each other, only 2 points separate them.
A berth in ArenaBowl 19, Las Vegas. Next Sunday at stake. 8 minutes and 38 seconds to decide it. Garner to kick off for the fourth.
That's
and
four.
Another one over the net.
That's 4 times today. Nelson Garner, who has struggled with some extra points, has not struggled with the kickoffs.
One of the big plays in this game, the safety in the third quarter, because missed extra points by Georgia. They got those 2 points back with the safety. They have 7 touchdowns, 49 points.
Now, this is the kind of ball game I expected coming in here. One that would be back and forth. A lot of momentum swings coming right down to the wire.
Frizzell in motion. Hamilton, flag on the play, has Fleming. Ball start Orlando.
Prior to the snap,
and this will put Orlando.
Number 19 on the offense. After just to the goal.
This will put Orlando in that dangerous position again. This is the area of the field where Joe Hamilton lost the football last time. You see right here, he was out on the 5-yard line last time. He was backed up like that, and that's when he lost the football and created the problems and lost the momentum for the Predators. And now they're in that same area, and you can bet he's going to run either a quick screen or a 3-step drop to get rid of that ball quick.
Hamilton, as Fleming, gives himself some room. Let's check in with Dave Burns.
Bob, this drive right now is a big test for the home crowd, the Georgia Force people in the stands. Earlier yesterday, Coach Doug Plank told us that we have seasoned this crowd by winning this year, and they have improved a lot since the first game of this season. Now they need to step up and drown out Orlando in these final drives.
Now they have been loud throughout the course of this game. Orlando with a big second down coming up here.
Well, everybody's on their feet in this arena, Bob.
Fleming in motion, nearly picked by Gaines.
All right, Kevin Gaines was covering Jimmy Frizzell on the outside, and he peeked into the backfield and saw what was happening, and he comes in and makes the play. See Gaines at the bottom of there? He was not covering Corey Fleming. He was covering Jimmy Frizzell on the bottom, but he saw what was happening, and he made the adjustment and almost made the huge play.
3rd and 6. Talk about home field advantage. Georgia 9-0 at home this season. The Atlanta Hawks played 41 home games, and they only won 9 in this building. Hamilton. Sack! He's got in there. Wilson was in there. And Setzer got the pressure.
Boy, that's the worst nightmare for Jake Gruden right there. You're going to see Setzer come from the outside on the right there. He's the first one in. And after that, everybody joined on the pile. Gillis Wilson got there. Marcus Keys got there. But gives Setzer the sack on that outside rush. He beat Doug Miller around the horn.
Second sack this half of Hamilton. 4th and 11 for Orlando.
There's confusion, too. They're lined up wrong, and now they've got it right.
Play clock down to 1. They don't get it off.
You know, Joe Hamilton reached up. He almost was going to call a timeout. And then he thought he could get it off.
Game. Offense. Have to get to the goal. 4th down.
So they'll put the ball on the 2. Everybody on their feet here in Atlanta. One of the defining plays of the ball game for Orlando. 4th and 13. Fleming in motion. Whistles again.
Boy, you can't even hear the whistle. It's so loud in here.
Another false start.
False start. Number 97 on the offense. After just to the goal. 4th down.
Doug Plank, the emotional head coach of the Georgia Force.
Yeah, he's helping him call that one. He saw it right away and wasn't going to let it slip by. That's the intensity that Doug Plank played with for all those years at Ohio State under Woody Hayes, and then with the Chicago Bears under Mike Ditka. 2 men that had great influence on his coaching career.
Now it's 4th and 14 for the Predators. Frizzell in motion. Hamilton fumbled the snap. Loose ball. Just locked it up.
safety.
That's twice now.
In a sport known for touchdown after touchdown, it's defense that wins championship, and Georgia has turned it up a couple of notches here in the second half.
Boy, what a series for this defense. Here's another look at it. Joe Hamilton, the snap went right through his hands. He never had it. You see Aldridge going down low to get it. Hamilton ends up with it, but as soon as he's on his back and touched right there, it's blown dead for another safety. Well, what a time to have a bad snap. Right there, he's down before he throws it. He's on the ground.
No ball! No! No way! Safety, safety, safety!
How about Doug Plank, man? It's on his sleeve. He wears it right on the sleeve.
And Ray, again, you made the point earlier, it might have been better from Orlando's perspective had Georgia just recovered it for a touchdown so Orlando could get the ball back and try to get 7 back. Instead, by giving up the safety, now they have to kick the ball away.
Right, they're down 5, and they don't have the football, and there's only 5 minutes and 10 seconds left, and time is running out on Jay Gruden's team. That being said, this is arena football, and it is never over until it's over.
It was 40-33, Orlando with the lead when Hamilton got caught for the first safety. Ray, onside kick here?
You know, I think there's enough time left that you don't have to do it yet. Now, certainly Georgia is expecting it. In fact, they're in a 7-up deal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys up. They have that return man all alone at the back. That in itself is dangerous.
Hensley with the pop-up. Parker got it.
I think Orlando was offsides anyway.
Now you got a new kicker in there. Only his second week with the team in Hensley.
The kicking team, number 3, was offside. After just to the goal, first down.
And Orlando was offside.
Another look at that onside kick. Not a bad kick, but very well protected. You see Marcus Keys, 75, going up there and blocking the Predator defender, and that allows Parker to slip in behind and field the ball.
Up 5, Nagy with the ball. First and goal at the 5. Has Jackson, touchdown, Georgia. His 4th of the ball game.
Just a little pick route for Chris Jackson. The motion man comes right alongside of him. He breaks it off outside there, wide open. Nagy rolls a little bit to the throw, delivers it on time, and that's almost indefensible.
Garner to make it a 12-point lead. Scratch that. That's why they keep going for 2.
Maybe that's part of the equation, I'm sure. Garner has struggled.
So an 11-point deficit keeps it at a 2-possession ball game. Chris Jackson brought to Georgia to help this team get to an ArenaBowl. He has 4 touchdown catches today. The Force are 4 minutes and 3 seconds away from the ArenaBowl.
Dad, what's up with that mascot? He's not moving.
He's not moving.
Once you try a tasty, fresh toasted Italian BMT sub from Subway restaurants, you'll forget everything else.
I think he's dead.
No, he's not dead.
The weather's heating up, and so are the deals at Aaron's. And so is this sand. So hot-footed on over there.
At Aaron's Sizzling Summer Sale, you'll get the guaranteed lowest prices on name brand merchandise throughout the store, like on this Dell computer, and you're pre-approved. Do the math. Shop Aaron's.
Like it? Hey, I'm a lot smarter than I look. Did I tell you I used to call my own plays?
Why am I in the Army Reserve? It's not just for the experience or the training I can use as a soldier and as a civilian. It's for them, for my country, and it's all worth fighting for.
Visit GoArmyReserve.com.
The stakes are raised. Damian Harrell in Colorado, Raymond Billiard in Chicago. On the line, a trip to ArenaBowl 19 Las Vegas. Sunday, 3 Eastern, NBC.
Monday. Welcome to the family. What? See how it all got started. God, I love this town. Catch the very first episode of Las Vegas, NBC Monday.
Doug Plank in his first year as head coach of the Georgia Force, 403 away from the Arena Bowl. Doug Plank, drafted in the 12th round of the 1975 draft by the Chicago Bears. He wore number 46 until 1982. 6 feet, 190 pounds, a featured tackler. Former Bears defensive coordinator Buddy Ryan named his 46 defense after Plank's uniform number and aggressive style of play. Through some of those lean years with Chicago, he told us sometimes it was the game within the game. We knew we couldn't win, but let's see how many guys we could take out. It's that hard-nosed style he's brought to Georgia. 12-5 on the season, trying to take this team to the Arena Bowl.
Boy, and his team has bought into his philosophy. You know, the first thing he said to him when he came in there, he says, I don't know any of you, but we're going to the Arena Bowl. And he got that from Mike Ditka. That's the first thing Ditka told the Bears when he took over there, and it worked for him. Plank said, I'm going to try that myself.
It's a live ball. Brown, nowhere to go. That's a touchdown.
You know, we spoke to Doug Plank about what his atmosphere is. He says, I'm trying to create an atmosphere with my team. Number one, we have to have fun. Guys have to be accountable and professional, willing to work, and then he wants to create a positive environment. He relies on encouragement for his football team. He's not a yeller and a screamer. He wants guys to do it because they want to, for whatever reason, but mainly for him.
Finish that story when Ditka said, the good news is I'm going to take you to the Super Bowl. The bad news is most of you guys won't be here when we get there.
That's true.
Hamilton, Fleming, knocked over the boundary by Coggins. Gain of 7. Orlando had controlled this game up 7 with the ball at 40-33, but Georgia has turned up the defense.
Doug Plank makes the calls to the secondary. Bob Cronenberg calls the line. They work together on that defense.
Michael Brown, catch and run. Wrestled by Gary at the 23.
You know, one thing Doug Plank does is he makes his players wear helmets all the time whenever they're out there. And here's one of the reasons he had a helmet on. You see Bergeron in an earlier game against Tampa goes over the bench and hits Doug Plank helmet to head. Doug had over 30 stitches in his head, and he said he felt he let the team down after that.
Hamilton, Frizzell, rubbed out inside the 10. So even after his playing days,
he's still mixing it up. He can still take a hit.
Well, he was used to delivering them. That time he was on the receiving end.
Yeah, he wasn't able to finish that game. Had to go to the locker room, and he said, man, he felt like he let him down.
Ray, game is still on here. It's an 11-point game. In the AFL with 2:17 to go, that's an eternity.
Oh, it sure is.
Orlando could use a quick score. Hamilton, Fleming, got it. Touchdown, Corey Fleming. Just used his size and strength on Gaines.
And that's why they have Gaines matched up against Fleming, just because of that size. They think Gaines can handle him, but he sure did not handle him on that one. Orlando should go for 2 here. 3. Here's another look at it. You see the whole way Joe Hamilton is looking at Corey Fleming, and Fleming just physically manhandled Gaines and then got himself open for that touchdown.
This season, Orlando was 0 for on 2-point conversion. Fleming in motion. Hamilton Hamilton. Fleming knocked away. Taken off by Lee.
No flag there. It looked like Lee was very close to being out of the box. And he intercepted that ball.
And that's what Hamilton is arguing.
Now that Jack linebacker has to stay in the box, which is as wide as the widest offensive lineman. So your line is going to be right here. He's got to stay inside that line right there. And here he is right here. See if he stays inside that line. I think he's out of it. It's very close, though, and they let it go.
Get a look at it again.
What the officials would call an athletic move by a Jack linebacker.
If the quarterback rolls out of the pocket, then that linebacker can move.
Right, but that wasn't the case. Hamilton had the straight drop back. I don't think, you know what, he didn't have enough air under that ball either.
Yeah, I don't think he would have reached Fleming anyway. So Orlando 0 for 7 during the regular season in 2-pointers. Onside kick time, Ray?
Absolutely. Minute 23 left. Down a possession. I think you have to kick the onside here. Even though you have 3 timeouts left, you just haven't stopped them yet this whole second half. So I think you take your chances. Kick the onside kick. If you don't get it, then you got to try to get a stop there, and understanding that a field goal will only make this a 1-possession game. So if you hold them that field goal, you're still right in there.
And what an atmosphere here at the Phillips Arena in Atlanta. Arthur Blank, since taking over his ownership, moved the team downtown here to the Phillips Arena, and this place is rocking right now.
They've been on their feet this entire fourth quarter.
Onside kick. Hensley boots it. Deflected out of bounds. It's a common play by the receiving team, just batted out of bounds.
And that's Derek Lee, 6'5", got it at its highest point and just tapped it into the stands.
So Georgia, with 1:19 to go, has the ball and a 5-point lead.
See Derek Lee, he's going to be right here. Watch him go up and just flip that thing over his shoulder. That's a great play right there.
That's why I like the kicks more in the field. This way the receiving team does not have the option of just batting it over that wall.
Now it comes down to defense, and that's the Orlando Predators' trademark. They play great defense. They have all year, and they're going to need to play it now in order to come up with something here late in this game.
1 minute to go to the ArenaBowl.
Loctite Power Grab. Grabs instantly. With 9 times higher initial hold than the leading brand. Without bracing. Loctite Power Grab. Project solved.
The fresh makeup.
Hey, I'm Jimmy.
I'm Terry.
I'm John.
And I'm one of Earthlink's 2,000 employees.
I'm your internet service provider.
Your ISP. I am not a giant server in an air-conditioned room. I'm a living, breathing, hardworking internet person.
Just like you.
I'm watching out for you on the internet 24/7.
We've created spam blocker,
virus blocker,
spyware blocker,
scam blocker. If there's a problem, we create a blocker for it.
We love our jobs. We love what we do, and we enjoy it.
We're here to protect and serve you.
More speed, more security. That's Earthlink. Earthlink, we revolve around you.
Last Thursday, your favorite musicians of the past competed, and the audience voted. This Thursday, it happens again. 5 new performers. In the music competition, everyone's talking about. Hit Me Baby One More Time, Thursday, 9, 8 Central. For more, visit NBC.com.
Georgia 1 minute away from the Arena Bowl as we take a look at our ADT defensive play or plays of the game. Up 40-33, and with the ball, Joe Hamilton just loses it. Safety. That got Georgia to within 5. Then Georgia up by 3 in the 4th. Hamilton again can't get the snap. Safety.
And it was good pressure from that Georgia defense, but more than anything, those were the ADT misplays for the Orlando Predators offense. A drop ball by the quarterback and then a bad exchange led to 2 safeties.
In the last minute of the game, the offense team is leading. They have to gain positive yards. Cannot take a knee.
Right, or the clock will stop, giving the opponents a 3 timeout.
Nagy on the attack, looking for more, but Jackson can't find him. Let it stop the clock. Incomplete passes, first downs, or a player getting out of bounds will stop the clock.
Yeah, and Georgia has to be in a scoring mode right now. There's too much time left, and Orlando has 3 timeouts left. They really can't run the ball and try to grind this thing out. There's just too much time, so they need to score again. That's what they're going to try to do with this series.
Secondary of Orlando not made a lot of big plays in this game. They normally get their hands on the ball quite a bit.
Yeah, no interceptions by Matt Nagy thus far.
Jackson in motion on the 2nd and 10. Nagy underneath. Bergeron.
And he did stay in bounds. They continue to wind the clock.
Now timeout called by Orlando. Good play by the rookie Bergeron to stay in bounds.
Yeah, he's come a long way in his first year, his rookie year. Early on, he just relied on speed. He didn't even start the beginning of the season. An injury to Scotty Montgomery forced him into the lineup as the offensive specialist, and he just started tearing it up right from there.
21 years of age, league's youngest player. Huge numbers, 105 catches, rookie record, 1,370 yards, 1 touchdowns, AFL Rookie of the Year, Troy Bergeron, who never played a snap of college football. 2 touchdowns today. Big 3rd and 5 here for Georgia. Nagy zips it to the end zone through the hands of Jackson. Well, Brown had a chance as well.
Yeah, and Brown made a nice recovery because Jackson shook him right away.
All right, so what do you do if you're Georgia here? You're going to go for 3?
You kick a field goal. You kick a field goal, now you're up by 8. You see Brown doing a nice job staying with it and then just getting a hand on it, deflecting the ball away from Jackson. But yeah, kick a field goal, be up by 8 now. That means Orlando has to score and convert a 2-point conversion to tie it up.
This will be a 24-yarder for Nelson Garner, who has missed 3 extra points in the ball game. It's a live ball if he misses it. Gant takes the snap. Garner from 24. Good! Well, he missed the extra points, but he makes a big field goal to put the Force up by 8.
37 seconds left for Joe Hamilton and Jay Gruden and that Orlando Predator offense. They got to come down and score and convert the 2-point conversion to tie this thing up.
Don't forget, the second entry in Arena Bowl 19 will be contested tomorrow. The American Conference Championship as the Chicago Rush square off in Denver against the Colorado Crush, 3 p.m. Eastern. The winner advances to Arena Bowl 19 Las Vegas. Next Sunday, June the 12th, 3 p.m. Eastern, exclusively here on NBC.
And Orlando is no stranger to the Arena Bowl, but the Georgia Force, it would be their first time if they get there. And that game tomorrow, Colorado and Chicago, neither of them have ever been to the Arena Bowl.
.37 seconds to go, 2 timeouts remaining. Remember, Orlando during the regular season did not convert a 2-point conversion. They failed once already here today. So they've got to do something they haven't done all year.
That's what it takes a lot of times to get yourself in a title game.
Michael Brown back deep. Nelson Garner's kicked 4 over the net today.
And they could use one right here and give Orlando that long field to have to work with.
This one will not go over. Brown on the return. Michael Brown. Michael Brown! Tripped up by Lee. He's ruled down by contact. 34 yards on the return.
Oh, a great field position for the Orlando Predators.
Derek Lee saved the touchdown.
Here's another look at it. You see Brown hit that hole full speed. And if Derek Lee isn't there to make that tackle, we'd be looking at a 2-point conversion right now. You see the ground force that fumble. Good call there by the officials.
Joe Hamilton needs 8 to tie. Brazil in motion. Going up top, Brazil dragged down. Not a bad play by Coggins. He was beat.
Now he's playing what you call intentional foul right now. If he is beat by any chance that you're going to be beat, go ahead and foul. What that does, it takes time off the clock.
Pass interference. Number 24 on the defense. 10 yards from the previous spot. First down.
Takes time off the clock, and it also prevents that touchdown. And here's a look at it right here, and you're going to see right away Coggins obviously playing intentional foul, grabs a hold of Frizzell and rides him the whole way.
Certain philosophies is intentional foul. There's give up. A lot of different strategies come into play.
Right, you can play gamble where you just take a shot, and you can also play give up where you just allow them to score, but that's not the situation right now.
They run it with Price, and Georgia was thinking run as well. Smith on the tackle. 21 seconds to go.
And that's just Jay Gruden trying to maybe steal one there, you know, with a little pop, a little draw. The other thing is he doesn't want to leave any time for Georgia after they tie this up.
Time for our U.S. Army Iron Man of the game. What a game it's been for Georgia's Chris Jackson.
Amazing day for Jackson. Started out early, caught a couple of touchdown balls, had 8 catches on the day, 147 yards, 4 touchdowns. He also was able to return kicks for 94 yards and threw in a couple of tackles as well. There's his numbers on the day. That's pretty much your basic Ironman performance right there.
The U.S. Army Ironman of the game. Second down and 9 for Orlando with 1 timeout remaining, down 8. Frizzell in motion. Hamilton underneath for Brown. Jackson on the tackle. Near the first down marker.
And he did not get out of bounds. He was down before he hit the wall over there, so Jay Gruden has to use his final timeout.
Had he gotten the first down, the clock would have stopped.
Chris Jackson making the tackle there, and he gets Brown before he can get out of bounds to force Gruden to use that final timeout.
Now, the only way they can run was if they're guaranteed they get the first down to stop the clock.
Well, they can get a first down before the touchdown there, Bob. They're at 3rd and 1 right here. But I expect that they'll throw the football into the end zone, take a couple of shots.
They need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie.
You know, you go to Corey Fleming in a situation like this. He's been the guy all year.
Take the handoff to Brown. Hamilton can run it. Hamilton then lobs it. Incomplete.
That's a pretty good decision by Joe Hamilton because he was not going to make it into the end zone. So instead he just threw it away knowing that he had 4th down coming up.
Ray, looked like he could have had the first down.
That's a possibility, but you know what? The clock will start on the ready if you get a first down. It'll stop until the chains are set, and then it starts at the ready. But it's all moot, Bob. It comes down to 1 play right here.
1 play left in Orlando season with a berth to ArenaBowl 19 hanging in the balance. Joe Hamilton, the former Georgia Tech star, calling the signals. Fleming in motion. Hamilton, Fleming, can't reel it in, but there's a flag. Gaines was holding him the whole way.
Intentional foul, again, the strategy there. 8 up 4 seconds, so there's only 4 seconds left, and it took away that touchdown from Corey Fleming.
Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
fans are booing, but it was done by design. Can't give up the score.
Right there, you see him just wrap up Corey Fleming. He's got to hold him the whole way. He's playing intentional foul from the get.
Can you get off 2 plays in 4 seconds?
No, you got 1 play unless there's a penalty. Now, Georgia, their question now is, are they going to just play solid defense, or are they willing to do an intentional foul again?
Price, the fullback. The veteran Cooper in motion. Final play. Frizzell, touchdown Orlando. And now it comes down to something the Predators haven't accomplished all year, converting a 2-point conversion.
And that might have been their best play right there for the 2-point conversion. They ran Cooper around in motion, and it created a natural pick for Frizzell's man. He just ran the out route, little X-rub we used to call it, where he runs that out route right behind Cooper, and it picks that man who's supposed to cover him right there. They might come back with that same play. They're in the same formation.
To tie and go to overtime. The Orlando Predators need 2. Cooper in motion again. Hamilton. Incomplete. Flag on the play. Hold everything. Jackson was on the back of Frizzell. They'll get another shot.
And they'll move the ball half the distance to the goal, and that will put the run into the equation now.
Number 81 on the
Orlando's
defense. Half the distance to the goal. Replay.
Orlando has run the football very well in this area, so now it's another opportunity for Jay Gruden to tie this thing up. Here's another look at it. You're going to see Chris Jackson draped all over the receiver right there. Had a hold of Frizzell. It's another intentional foul play.
The AFL is Yogi Berra football. It ain't over till it's over.
That's right.
Again, Orlando for 2 and the tie. Cooper in motion. Now Frizzell loops. Hamilton for 2 and the tie. Lobs it for Cooper. No way. Gaines was there. Cooper says he was fouled. No flag.
And Chris Jackson grabs Brett Cooper, but there was no call on that one.
Arthur Blank and the Georgia Force are going to ArenaBowl 19 Las Vegas next Sunday.
There's a little fight breaking out down there after the game here. Some frustration and some emotion.
(10-0) at home this season. The top seed in the National Conference, the Georgia Force, have won the conference championship. They're going to the ArenaBowl.
And here's that last play again. You see Joe Hamilton laying it up for Brett Cooper, and he felt he was interfered with by Chris Jackson right there. He was looking for the flag, but none came out this time. You see Cooper right away trying to get that call. It did not happen for him.
Owner Arthur Blank, his Falcons came up a game short of the Super Bowl. His Georgia Force are going to ArenaBowl 19 Las Vegas style. Doug Plank, as an assistant with Arizona, has been there 3 straight years. He's going as head coach. The final score, the Georgia Force 60. The Orlando Predators 58. Tomorrow the drive to ArenaBowl 19 continues, 3 p.m. Eastern. American Conference Championship. Mike Ditka's Chicago Rush against John Elway's Colorado Crush. Battle it out for a trip to Las Vegas and ArenaBowl 19. It's the Chicago Rush against the Colorado Crush tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern on NBC. Coming up next, except on the West Coast, stay tuned for local news. Then at 3 Eastern, John Travolta and James Woods star in the military thriller, The General's Daughter. That's followed by Crossing Jordan at 10. For Ray Bentley, Dave Burns, and our entire crew, I'm Bob Papa. Georgia's going to ArenaBowl 19. You've been watching the AFL playoffs on NBC.
Years ago, it was an open for the ages.
As a receiver from his dad coached Ray Lewis when Lewis was in high school. Jimmy Frizzell would like a championship of his own, and he scores on the touchdown feed from Joe Hamilton. Knotted up at 7. National Conference Championship on NBC.
get rated. EA Sports. It's in the game. Mentos, the fresh makeup.
It's the Subway AFL on NBC Studio. Al Troutwig along with Glenn Parker back with you at halftime. We'll be talking to the head coach of the Chicago Rush, Mike Hohensee, who knows that in this league, even though we've had 2 possessions and 2 scores already, you have to be patient and you have to play defense. And here's the evidence that plays it out.
Absolutely. You've got to have their stops. And when you look at scoring defense right here, 3 of the top 4 teams in scoring defense are still alive in the conference championship round. You take a look, you've got to get those stops in an offensive league.
Could be a warning sign for Colorado playing tomorrow that they're not part of that Final Four. But what's your favorite matchup in the game we're watching today?
Well, right now, I like Matt Nagy. What you have to do, and we've already seen it, you saw Chris Jackson get long. If Orlando's going to stop them, they're going to have to play over the top, keep things in front of them, make Matt Nagy continue to complete passes, and make him continue that magic he's been on all year.
We'll break it down at halftime. Hope you can join us for the Subway AFL on NBC Studio. Right now, back to Bob and Ray.
Looking forward to it, Al. Jimmy Frizzell spent all of last year with the Chicago Bears on their practice squad, spent some time with the Atlanta Falcons, has the equalizing touchdown in the 7-7 game. Hensley on the kickoff. Bergeron back deep. Bergeron gets wrapped up by Jerry and James and then gets toppled at the 5-yard line. Now Jay Gruden, the head coach of the Orlando Predators, a member of the AFL Hall of Fame. What a career he's had. Began in 1991 as the quarterback for the Tampa Bay Storm. Ray, I could see you in those uniforms.
Yeah, nice uniforms, no doubt.
4 ArenaBowl championships as a player. 1998, became the head coach of the Orlando Predators, and more success. 2 ArenaBowl titles in 3 appearances. Now, Jay went back to the playing field. Played a little bit more, member of the AFL Hall of Fame, and now back coaching the Predators.
Might be the top offensive mind in arena football.
Nagy with some time, incomplete. That's one of the keys, Ray, on that last play. What Orlando said they want to do is make Nagy have to wait a little bit.
Right, and they want to force him out of the pocket, make him move around a little bit. He's really he's not a rhythm. He is a rhythm passer in his 3-step game, but the 5-step, he likes to move around the pocket to buy a little extra time and allow his guys to get open.
Nagy from Anaheim, Pennsylvania, played his college ball at the University of Delaware. Set 20 school records in the passing game. 2nd and 10 for the Force. Nagy under pressure, lets it go. Lee is open. He'll walk in for the touchdown. Johnny Harris slips. Easy touchdown, 45 yards.
That's the physical matchup that is going to be key in this ball game. Johnny Harris against Derek Lee, and give Lee the win on this one. Here he is right up here, and he's just going to run a go route. You're going to get a post from Bergeron. You see Harris jump up there early, and now his eyes are in the backfield, and he bit on the inside look by the quarterback. Matt Nagy looked him inside, and then he tripped when he tried to recover, and it won't get any easier than that for Derek Lee.
Nagy had some pressure, but with Harris falling down, easy touchdown for the rookie, Derek Lee.
Yeah, the mistake Harris made, looking into the backfield a little too much, bought the eye fake from Nagy.
Garner's extra point, no good. You cannot assume extra points in the AFL with the uprights only 9 feet apart. But Derek Lee, 45-yard touchdown pass. Easy throw for Nagy, and the Georgia Force with the lead. 13-7 here in the first quarter.
NASCAR returns to Daytona, the Pepsi 400 live in prime time, July 2nd on NBC.
I'm worried about leaving my family alone when I travel. What if something happened? That's why I got ADT.
I came home one night and found a burglar in my house. And we live in a nice neighborhood. That's why I got ADT.
And now you can get the peace of mind that comes from America's #1 security company. Call now and save $100 off the regular price when you buy ADT's family package. Why worry when you have the security of ADT? ADT, always there.
The drive continues.
Play on time and serious, baby.
Arena Bowl 19. Las Vegas awaits.
You apply as much physical pressure as you can to New Orleans.
Against the Voodoo, Orlando hits the jackpot.
The Orlando Predators in a must-win situation.
And their Vegas dreams got brighter as a wild card on the road in New York.
Orlando holds off New York to advance to the next round of the playoffs.
Can Georgia make the Predators play by house rules? Lucky number 10 will send the force to Sin City.
Southern Division champs, baby.
High stakes, heavy hitters. This game's for big boys only.
Come on, feel the thunder. There's a rumble in the house.
It's the AFL National Conference Championship on NBC from Georgia. The Georgia Force play host to the Orlando Predators. Orlando is led by Hall of Fame head coach Jay Gruden. He had final thoughts for his team.
You guys have been together for some time now. We know each other. We know them. Strap it up and give it your best shot, man. That's all you can do. No regrets tomorrow morning. Whatever happens with the outcome of the game, leave nothing on the field. No regrets tomorrow morning. So make sure you can live with yourself tomorrow and the next day and the next day that you did leave a great opportunity out on the table. Don't leave this opportunity out on the table. We got an opportunity to come to this building. They're 9-0 at home and go to Vegas. What else do you want as a football player in the Arena Football League? Nothing.
Meanwhile, the Georgia Force are led by AFL Coach of the Year, Doug Plank, the former Chicago Bear. Bob Papa, Ray Bentley, Dave Burns. This should be a defensive struggle.
It really is. You got the two of the top three scoring defenses from the season in the Arena Football going together today, Bobby. And you know what they say, defense wins championships.
Orlando has won the coin toss. They will kick off. Ken Hensley, signed last week, will kick it off to Chris Jackson. During the regular season, Jackson returned 3 for touchdowns. He only had 1 in his career leading up to this season. Hensley was painting his houseboat in Stuart, Florida when he got the call from the Predators. He said, sure. Jackson fielding it. And wrapped up by Doster and dropped at the 5-yard line. Let's take a look at the starting lineups as we head to the Georgia offense led by quarterback Matt Nagy. Second team All-Arena in his 3rd year out of Delaware. 66 touchdown passes on the season. Couple of all-rookie standouts in Derek Lee and Troy Bergeron and the great Chris Jackson.
Yeah, Chris Jackson's the guy they picked up in a trade from Grand Rapids mid-season, and he has really reignited this ball club.
Get a look at them up front. Adam Metz out of North Carolina, the center. Smith, the tight end, with Shane Bryce playing at the guard. 13 sacks allowed this season by Georgia. Jackson in motion. Lee on the quick hitch. Gets wrapped up and dropped from behind at the 11-yard line by E.J. Burke. Take a look at the defense of the Orlando Predators. They only give up 44 points per game as a defense. E.J. Burke, 8.5 sacks this season. They get a lot of pressure up front, right?
And when E.J. gets to the quarterback, he knocks the ball loose. 5 forced fumbles so far this season.
Then you get a look at the secondary with Corey Fleming and Idris Price, the linebackers, and Johnny Harris, a key today.
Yeah, he's the guy they brought in middle of the year to cover receivers like Derek Lee, and they're working on each other up top up there.
Bergeron, the motion man. Lee with the catch, has the first down, tackled by Harris.
And midway through the season, Jay Gruden looked at his team. He had Damon Mason and Kenny McIntyre back there, not real big defenders, and he knew he would have to go against either Tampa Bay, who had Lawrence Samuels, a real big type physical receiver, and then Georgia with Derek Lee, a big physical type receiver. He said, I need a guy that can handle that, and he brought in Johnny Harris, and Harris so far has done the job.
Harris started the 2002 and 2003 seasons with the New York Giants, played with the Oakland Raiders as well. 1st and 10. Nagy looking for Jackson. Got a touchdown, Georgia. yards for Chris Jackson.
And Chris Jackson got the matchup on Reggie Doster on the backside, and all he did was just run the post. Here he is. He's going to come down the field, slow down, and then he hits the gas pedal right there, and that change of speed is what allowed him to run by Doster.
And that's what Jackson does better than anybody in the league, his ability to change speed and alter his route.
It's so difficult to cover, and you know, he lulls the guy to sleep, and then he hits the gas and goes right by you. Perfect example of it right there.
Nelson Garner on for the extra point to give Georgia a 7-0 lead. Low snap. And Garner knocks it through. So Chris Jackson from 33 yards out got a step on Reggie Doster. That was all she wrote. Touchdown, Georgia Force. They have a 7-0 lead in the National Conference Championship.
Why am I in the Army Reserve? It's not just for the experience or the training I can use as a soldier and as a civilian. It's for them, for my country, and it's all worth fighting for.
Visit GoArmyReserve.com.
I want to see my fighter. Come on.
Kid, how many fingers I got up?
4.
What city are we in?
I don't know.
You remember what you did last night?
No.
Remember what I did last night?
No.
He's fine. It's all good. Let him in.
Chris Jackson's 33-yard touchdown catch has given Georgia a 7-0 lead over Orlando, the National Conference Championship on NBC. So glad you can join us. Bob Popple along with Ray Bentley. Jackson makes the big play, but quarterback Matt Nagy has 3 big-time weapons to choose from.
Yeah, they have 3 super receivers, 2 of them rookies. As we'll take a look at the profile on each of these guys. Start out with Bergeron. He's got straight-ahead speed. He can just run by you, set a rookie record for receiving yards. He's the guy that stretches defenses for the Georgia Force offense. And now Derek Lee, big and physical, the size and strength guy, makes all the plays in the red zone, uses that 6'5" frame. And then Chris Jackson, we saw him, the shiftiness, the savvy. He's a guy that just makes plays. He has really lifted this team since joining midway in the season.
Well, the Orlando Predators play a more tight to the vest type game, good running game. Joe Hamilton, the quarterback. They don't have the 3 big-time receivers, but they have a stud in Corey Fleming.
Corey Fleming is a big-time receiver all by himself, and he's just an amazing player. He's the guy they love to get the ball to. He's going to run a little more motion today to see how that matchup goes with Nate Coggins in the middle. But when Corey Fleming plays well, the Predators usually get a W.
Nelson Garner to kick off for the Georgia Force. Jarian James, explosive, a rookie out of Houston, back deep for Orlando. He took one back for a touchdown this season. Nice high kick by Garner. James with a chance. Jarian James gets a block from Cleveland and then gets wrapped up at the 21-yard line. A 27-yard return for Jarian James. The good field position for the Orlando Predators. And quarterback Joe Hamilton, who starred right here in Atlanta at Georgia Tech. Getting a final play from head coach Jay Gruden.
Hamilton missed 3.5 games this year with that separated shoulder, but since he has come back, he's been outstanding.
Non-throwing shoulder. Jarian James, the motion man. Price, the fullback. Hamilton for James, locked up by Coggins, incomplete. We'll send it down to Dave Burns. He's with Doug Plank.
Well, guys, you know, one characteristic that defined Doug Plank as a player was toughness. Coach, motivator is one of the defining characteristics of you as a coach. What did you tell your team before kickoff?
I just tell them we deserve to be here. Let's start playing like champions instead of playing like we're runners-up. So we're going to attack. We're going to play to win, not to lose.
Doug Plank, coach of the Georgia Force, guys.
Well, you can feel that heat right up here in the booth.
Yeah, Doug's ready to go. I think he's ready to pad it up himself.
Brazil in motion for Orlando. He's a speed demon. Gets wrapped up at the 21-yard line. We take a look at the Orlando offense led by quarterback Joe Hamilton. 60 touchdown passes on the season. Idris Price, Jarian James, Corey Fleming missed the red zone. And Jimmy Frizzell was injured on April 22nd against Georgia. Fractured 2 ribs, but Ray, I talked with him before the game. He says it's getting better each and each week.
Yeah, and he's a guy that they need just to stretch the defense. And also, when we talked to Jay Gruden, he felt that Jimmy Frizzell was that last missing piece to the offensive puzzle, and he really hit it off with Joe Hamilton immediately.
Well, the offensive front as well. Cleveland the center. Big third down here for Orlando. Hamilton feels some pressure. He can run. There's a flag on the play. He's got the first down as he gets tripped up by Smith and Lee. Flag came out of the secondary in the vicinity of defensive holding or an illegal defense.
Yeah, I saw some holding. Whether or not they called that remains to be seen, but there was some holding by that Georgia 4 secondary.
During the regular season, Hamilton rushed for 98 yards. Perry Haviner is our referee.
Holding on the defense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
So the call is against Georgia, although Hamilton had the first down. We take a look at the Georgia Force defense. They give up 46 points a game as a defense. And Jermaine Smith, first team All-Arena, 3.5 sacks. Gillis Wilson had 5.5 sacks this season.
Yeah, very good up front. Adam Metz, that nose guard, will get the push. And here's the rest of them. The key guys to me today are Nate Coggins and Kevin Gaines. They have to play well as defensive specialists.
Coggins a bit nicked up during the week. Hamilton, Frizzell, touchdown, Orlando.
Boy, Frizzell just shook Coggins. Coggins bought the corner fake. He went to cover the corner route. Frizzell gave that corner fake and then cut back underneath, and Coggins never stayed with him. Take a look at the route. Here's Frizzell coming in motion. He's got the speed to press things up vertically. But look at that little corner move there. And you saw Coggins bit hard on the corner. And Frizzell, it was easy just to work himself back in the middle after that nice fake.
Well, the son of a coach, Jimmy Frizzell, his dad a coach at Ball State, Western Illinois, Youngstown State, a defensive coach. So he learned a lot about reading defenses. Can't find Frizzell. Looked like Keys of Georgia jumped offside before the snap in the neutral zone.
Marcus Keys, the nose guard, got the early start.
Offsides. Defense, number 75. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And it is on Keys. Today's AFL Clash is being watched by our U.S. Armed Forces personnel stationed overseas throughout the courtesy of the AFN, the American Forces Network. We hope you're enjoying the telecast wherever you may be stationed. And our sincere thanks to all the men and women defending democracy around the world. 1st and 5 for Orlando.
I haven't seen Corey Fleming get into this too much. He's up top right here.
Brown in motion. You're going to run it with Nagel. Picks up 4, just short of the first down. Coggins stuck his nose in there. Kevin Nagel picked up on April the 22nd for Orlando.
Right, picked up in a trade because they sent Rupert Grant to Nashville, and Nagel has stepped in and done a great job. And when he came over in the trade, he brought his guns with him. He's got some of the biggest arms in Arena football. Reminds me of Dan Curran, who was the top rusher in the Arena Football League last year, and he is a load when he gets it going.
His arms are bigger than most people's legs. 2nd and 1. Hamilton keeps it. Gets knocked down by Coggins, but a first down for Orlando. Gain of 9 for Joe Hamilton. And Ray, I remember in week 1, Colorado and Orlando, one of the things you said you wanted to see more from Joe Hamilton was his running ability.
And they take advantage of it here, running the dive option, where they actually ride the ball to the fullback Nagel, and Hamilton's reading that defensive end. Because he crashed down, he pulls the football and then takes it on the outside. Corey Fleming threw a nice block, and he picks up a good gain. They also have the dive option, which will bring a pitch man into play as well.
1st and 10 for Orlando. Frizzell in motion. Predators down by 6. Brown on the quick hitch. Reaches forward inside the 10 to about the 7-yard line. Coggins on the tackle for Georgia. This is a typical Orlando offensive possession. Short passes, ball control, methodical.
Running the football, controlling the tempo, and moving it down the field. Now the key to that, though, is can you get it done in the red zone? And Georgia has gotten it done in the red zone all season long, or excuse me, Orlando has gotten it done in the red zone. They are number 1 in red zone offense. So it's one thing to move the ball down the field. It's another thing to be able to hammer it in there when you get down there.
Well, because they have big number 12, Corey Fleming, last year's Iron Man of the Year. Dangerous in the red zone. Hamilton looks the other way to Brown. He's got him. Gary on the tackle. And if Brown throws the throws the ball back at Gary, and he's going to get flagged.
Yeah, that's a mental mistake for Brown. Yeah, Gary roughed him up a little bit, but this is football, and you can't just throw the ball at a guy. That's the guy that's going to get caught every time. And I didn't see flags coming out after Gary kind of threw Brown to the ground. So to me, the penalty would have to be on Brown.
You could see Brown's frustration because he was tackled and ruled out of bounds, and we heard a whistle. Then he got thrown down.
Yeah, you could see Jay Gruden's frustration, too.
On the play. We have a personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the defense, and unsportsmanlike on number 11 on the offense. Those penalties offset. It will be 4th down.
And I think Brown got lucky on that one because initially the flag was not coming out. You take another peek at this. Hamilton zips it out there, and now the play's over. But then there you have the throw down. But nobody's reaching for a flag until Brown throws the ball back at Gary. And once he does that, then they just called it offsetting.
But Brown gets bailed out. 1st and goal. This is Corey Fleming time, Ray Bentley.
This is his area on the field. He's right up here. They love to throw the fade. The fade stopped to him back on that backside.
Nagel. Touchdown, Orlando. And Fleming got away with a false start, Ray. He nudged out of his stance. But no flag, and Orlando gets the touchdown.
You know, the other thing that Corey Fleming, because he's such a threat down there, you know, you're able to do other things. The defensive backs cannot get involved in the run game because Corey Fleming's such a threat. Now let's watch his false start here that you saw, Bob. Right there, the little jiggle definitely got away with that movement there. Still made a nice block, and Nagel gets it in. No call on that one. They get the touchdown.
And Brown helped with the block as well. Hensley for the extra point. Sanders gets it down, and he strikes it right down the middle. So Orlando, by virtue of Georgia missing an extra point, now has a 1-point lead with 1:34 to go here in the first. Kevin Nagel during the regular season had 4 rushing touchdowns, and he pounds one in from 3 yards out. The quest for ArenaBowl 19. Orlando in front by 1.
Earthlink welcomes you to the high-speed play of the week. A rookie sensation in Georgia.
Bergeron is fast. Bergeron's got 1 man to beat. Bergeron's going to take it back for the touchdown.
This 10-point swing helped turn this playoff game around quickly as Troy Bergeron takes a missed field goal all the way back for a Georgia score.
Bang, bang fashion to end the first half. What a play.
The AFL and Earthlink.
Well, now, where's the fire, boys? Oh, fresh toasted sandwiches. Well, get those babies home before they get cold.
Fresh toasted sandwiches from Subway restaurants.
I'm hungry. You hungry?
Sponsors of Greg Biffle and Car 16.
Do I miss my old job? Who's going to see this? My life is very cool. As a poker champion, I've been basically all over the United States. I get autograph requests about every single day. I really learned how to play poker on PokerStars.net. That's where I really sharpened my skills. The best advice I can give for a poker player is to go on to PokerStars.net and practice. Practice makes perfect. Without that, I would not be a world champion today. I may have won the World Series of Poker, but I'm basically the same guy. Same guy, nicer car.
The AFL on NBC is brought to you by Loctite Power Grab. Project Solve by Subway. It's always been fresh. Now it can be toasted. Experience the new great taste of a fresh toasted sub today. Subway, eat fresh. And by ADT, America's residential and commercial security leader. Georgia, 13-7 lead over Orlando. Time for a sneak peek with Dave Burns.
You know, Bob, that looked a little bit too easy for Derek Lee. Derek, let's take another look at that. And was there anything we missed on that play?
Well, basically what I did was I took him down the field. I faked like I went in, hit him with one of those. Which way did he go? And he fell. Smooth sailing the rest of the way, baby.
And you said to me the first time you looked at it, it didn't look quite that easy, huh?
It didn't look that easy. I ain't know where he went.
But he went down, and Derek Lee caught it, scored the TD. Bob?
Derek Lee, coached by his dad, Benny, since the age of 8. From right outside of Atlanta, has 150 tickets out for this game. Mom Pam is there as well.
He said he hit him with a which way did he go move. That's a good one.
Know which way Johnny went. He went down.
He went straight down.
So Garner missed the extra point, missed a couple last week in the win against Tampa. Jarian James back deep for the Predators. Ball fell off the tee. Never touched the ball. As McIntyre picked it up.
Must be a strong wind in here today or something. It blew off the tee twice. Garner needs to set that thing in there a little bit more steady. Right here, just as he's about Charlie Brown at Lucy got him.
Do they open up one of the gates? Get a little wind current?
A little breeze.
Little breeze maybe to help the kicker. So Garner will tee it up again. Ready to put this game back in play. Good end-over-end kick and over the netting and the bars and into the stands for a touchback. So all that re-teeing helped Nelson Garner. Orlando must start at their own 5-yard line. Quarterback Joe Hamilton. 2 for 3 on the opening drive with a touchdown pass to Jimmy Frizzell.
You know, these two teams met twice in the regular season, Bob, in very close ball games. Georgia won at home 49-47 over Orlando. Orlando returned the favor at home, winning 52-49. Very close games they've played against each other.
Joe Hamilton, very excitable. Very fired up for this playoff showdown. Has Brown. Can't run out of the tackle and gets dumped by Gaines at the 9-yard line. Pickup of about 4.
One of the keys for the Georgia Force when they did beat Orlando, they made them use a long field the whole game. They covered kicks well, and they made Joe Hamilton try to work that ball the long way, and that's what they've got in this instance with Garner kicking it over the net. Joe Hamilton's looking at 45 yards to get to the end zone.
Frizzell in motion. Hamilton under some pressure. Jackson missed the tackle. Hamilton pounds his way up to the 12-yard line. 3 yards short of a first down.
And I'll tell you the reason Hamilton wasn't able to throw the football, everybody was covered. In particular, Jimmy Frizzell, the motion man, coming down. Nate Coggins just locked him up. Frizzell never got 5 yards down the field. Watch this right here. This defense by Coggins right here just puts the clamps on Frizzell and then gets the hands off so he doesn't get the holding call. But that's a mauling right there.
Another big third down coming up from Orlando. They converted one earlier on a penalty. Brown in motion. He's the running threat. Gets a key block. Has the first down to the 18-yard line. Kevin Nagel, the fullback, made the key block to spring Brown.
Orlando, one of the top rushing teams in arena football. They get the tough yards, and that's a trademark of a Jay Gruden team. And here's Nagel, 32, the fullback, leading around the corner. And the blocking was so good on the edge. Nagel, there was nobody for Nagel to hit. Brown just had to get into his pocket and slide in there for the first down. And as I said, Bob, you see the rushing numbers there. 33 touchdowns, tied for third, 180 attempts, and 528 rushing yards, second in the Arena Football League this season.
Frizzell in motion. Motion up front. Hamilton with a free play.